Do you find yourself at this present moment, guys, and I just want you to kind of take yourselves there a little bit, are you having a good time? Are you riding the waves? And we talked about this last time, the waves of what you're going to be feeling. It's the unknown. It's the fear. It's, you know, and with fear it has anxieties. But we need to just flatten them down because we're going to be okay, guys. I promise you now, you are going to be okay. We will see an end to this. This will be a story, a legacy. This is going to be written about. You will remember this, like 9/11. You know, this is a really, really harsh time for us. But in these times of madness, we find sanity. In times of madness, we find sanity. It lives in there somewhere amongst the two, and they belong to each other. Now, what are we going to do today, guys? I'm going to keep it nice, short and sweet today. Like last time, we had a 3-hour, it flooded by. It was fantastic. It worked great. So why you're here, you know why you're here. Yeah, to be entertained, right? And learn something new. And I'm going to, with the way I educate, is very different. You know, it's a very different ethos that I've learned, and I've learned it and I've skilled it. And it's to attract emotion with the sense of learning. Okay, so what I want to do with the few little techniques that I have today, and I'll give you little techniques over there. I'll tell you all my secrets, guys, because my grandfather was a magician, if you didn't know, and he used to just keep his secrets to himself, but he used to give me a little wink and go, you can have that one. You're part of the magic circle. And I loved it. I actually went yesterday, I went to go and see my father, my grandfather, and my brother's graves, and I had a good chat with them. I hadn't been up there for like 10 years, and it was my brother's 40th birthday. I know, obviously, he didn't make it to 40, but, you know, I sat there and I pre-visualized just having a good chat and what they would say back to me. Because, you know, my grandfather was my mentor, my father was my best friend, and my brother, well, he was just rock and roll. He had long hair, looked like Kurt Cobain. It was so freaking cool. And I went there and I had peace with myself because I was feeling a little bit down. And sometimes it's not speaking to somebody, you speak to something. You reach out and you look at the sky. You always look up because we're engineered to know that there's a heaven. And I believe in something greater. But I also believe there is a greater presence around us as well that connects us together. I want you to feel that presence because I'm giving you that. I'm there with you right now. I'm with you right now. Yeah, you can feel the energy, right? And it is true. I mean, I'm a bit hooky wooky, but I like it. It makes me feel good. So why not? Why not give that out? Why not all be on the same wavelength? You know, your mobile phone works from anywhere in the world. So can signals of good, positive energy. You can absorb them. You know, when you're having a really kind of like negative outcome, that's what you're going to get in your life. You're going to have negativity come in your life and you keep projecting that. But the more positivity you do, it becomes subconsciously great. And you become subconsciously happier and better person. You know, you get your mind in the right way. No matter what cards you dealt, you play your best hand. Do you see what I'm saying there? You play your best hand. You've got a load of twos, a load of fours, but you play it. Yeah, I'm going to win. And you'll outbluff your own self-doubt. You'll bring your self-esteem up. And you'll bring your confidence to the table. And your optimism. Do you get me? What we're going to learn today, guys, we've got one brand new haircut coming up. It's a line. It's a graduated layer. It's that lob. You know, it's that haircut that just works in a salon every single time, every client. But I'm going to do it in slightly different motions. I'm going to talk you through the why of the haircut, and we're just going to smash that out. Now, I want to get you all. Now, last week I got you to write down your 3 goals. 3 goals, yeah? So those that are joining us today for the first time, write down your 3 goals. Okay? So write down those 3 goals. I need you to think long term, a goal for next week, and maybe a goal for in the short future. But have 3 of them, and I want you to really kind of believe that they've already happened. You're already doing those goals. That's your part of just how it is. That's already happened to you. Like, that is exactly what's going on. And you're working towards it every time, but it's actually happening. And those goals will come true. Whether it's in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 years, they eventually, if you focus so much on them, you believe them, you'll get them. I want to get you to now, and a second one was, write your line, draw a line, and call it lack of confidence. I have a lack of confidence. And the reason I'm going to focus on that, I would never focus on the negative things, but the lack of confidence. And I want you to go from 10 to 0. But I want 0 to be 0 lack of confidence, 10 lack of confidence. And where do you sit within your cutting skills or your hairdressing skills here? You know, are you sitting about 9? I mean, those guys from last week, have I bumped that up a little bit to show you that it's not that hard? You do get that light bulb moment from here. You know, you're probably sitting at about 8. Let's put you at 8. I've got a lack of confidence in 8 because most of you that I'm speaking to, there are some stylists on here that have been cutting hair for years, and they'll all agree with me that once you get to 0, your abundance of creativity takes over. The possibilities of what you can do in life take over. And then you rescale it. And you rescale the 0. But you now work upwards, up to a 10, as in I am so confident. Sometimes like that confidence level will just dip in and out of the waves of level. You know, just waves of levels. It will go up and down, but you never fall behind the 5. So you need to get yourself here from watching every single seminar that we do over the next coming Mondays. You need to get to that 0. Once you're at that 0, you cannot fall backwards. The table has turned and you will just grow. You will sit about here for a long time as you're learning, as you're getting more creative, as you're thinking, as you're endless opportunities, your next photo shoot, your next, who you can assist for, who you can go and work for, how well you will do, and then your clients will grow and you will grow. Everything will grow. And then you'll sit to this point here and you will never fall back. You will never fall back. It's like riding a bike. Once you're there, so we're going to go climb that. We're going to climb it to 0 and we're going to start growing up. And this is confidence, this sheer confidence, abundance, optimism, all here. Okay? I go off on a rant. You know me. I love it as well. I love it because it just feels good. Do you know what I mean? And to feel good that's all we want to do. Now, once you've done those 2 things for me, guys, I want you now to draw a big circle on your page. Draw a big circle. Now, draw a second circle within that circle. Not too small, just on the outer edge here. Just go around here, look, just round there. Just do that, just a nervous circle. Now, in that circle, I want you to do another circle. Another circle in that circle. Have you all drawn that for me? Give me a thumbs up. Let me see my thumbs up because that's going to, I can see you guys. Give me a thumbs up. Everybody give me a thumbs up if you've drawn those circles. Let's see those thumbs up come in. Oh, you beautiful people. Yes, thumbs up. Yes, thumbs up. Yes. I love you guys. It's going to be a great couple of hours. So I'm only actually going to be on for about 2 hours today, and then we're going to take over with the lovely Justin. He has worked so hard on some amazing things for you. Have we got myself up there, Daniel? Can everybody see me okay?
Yep, everyone can see you.
Yeah? Cool.
All good.
Because I can see your face there, that's all. I can't see your face, really. Now, in that circle, on the outer edge, I want you to write the word what here. Just write what on the circle here. Write the word what. And I'll explain it as we go. What do we do? What is it we offer? What is it we are about? What is our thing we're trying to get over to people? Then I want you to write the word how in the middle circle. Write the word how here. So how do we do that? How do we do what we do? How do we get it out to our audience? How do we attract people? How do we do this? Now, here's the big thing. In the middle, I want you to write the word why. Write the word why. Now, I got this by researching something out of my development pattern. So once I'd learnt hairdressing, I then developed on how to communicate better. Because when you communicate, we are built on communication. If you communicate with the world, you can get something better. If you're a good communicator, and I think as hairdressers, we're all very good communicators. That's why we do this job. Some of us are a bit more flamboyant. Some of us are a bit more actor. Some of us are just a little bit more centered, grounded, a bit more zen. And we all have that. All different types of people, but we are good communicators. That's what we focus on. So when you're focusing on this, I want you to go and research this. Daniel's going to pop this in the link. And we talk about this a lot. Daniel's going to pop a little YouTube video in there.
Yeah, you can see that right there.
Yeah, so we can watch that later. But that really developed my business skills and also my purpose. My purpose. To have a purpose is amazing. And that was what, if you take two companies, they both do the same thing. Okay, so we've got maybe a computer company or car company, and then we've got, you know, one of the best ones in the world, and Simon talks about this. He uses Apple as a reference because Apple is like mind-blowing. You know, it's the stuff that they've done is for our future, and that brand is everywhere. It's probably in your hand right now. You're probably watching this off an Apple. You know, how did they do that? Well, sometimes like a car company, they'll say, well, we've got a brand new Chevy. It's a nice car. And I'm going to repeat try and remember what Simon says. I always make it my own. I have a brand new Chevy. It's top of the range. You know, come and get this car. How do we do it? Well, we add hand stitching. It's nice brown leather interior. Why? Because we want to sell that car to you and make some money. Well, when you think about how that was, you always feel sold to, don't you? You always don't quite believe in the product or any other thing that they're selling you, or the person, to be fair. It's because they concentrated on the why last. And if the last thing is why, because that's the result, that's the action. But what if, for some reason, you could turn that around? And this is what I'm telling you this because I want you to kind of find your why you do what you do, and you want to better yourself. You want to be the best. Why do you want to be the best? You know, or why do you want more success? Why do you want to be a good hairdresser? If you focus on your why, so let's see how Apple did that. I believe in changing the status quo. I believe we could be very different. How? We deliver the height of technology, beautifully designed and easy to use. We manufacture computers for you. Want to buy one? I mean, he does it better than me, but I focus on the why. You know, so let's look at in hairdressing terminology. So what do we have? We're hairdressers. How do we do it? We cut hair. You come in, you cut hair, we wash your hair. And why? Why? Because I need to pay the bills. It's a business, and I need to keep it running, and I need staff. That's pretty much what some people live on. But the most successful companies out there, they work on their why. Why do I do what I do? Because I want to create community. I want people to feel amazing when they walk through my door. I want them to have the best service. Let's take it from my education company. When you come to me and I teach you, I want your heart to beat with passion. I want you to be the best you can be. I want you to be better than me. I want you to be better than you were yesterday. That's how I work this. How? I learn, I develop, I invest in myself. What is it? It's a bloody good haircut with a great service, and it's good education. And you leave with that memory in your mind, because we are all built of the same memories. We are built of our memories. You learn from your predecessors. You learn behavior. Everything that you are made of today is something that you've learned, something that you've come across, something that you became. And not everything that you like is a good memory. But you need to learn to detach that memory from the emotion. Because now I'm teaching you, you're lit up. Do you feel lit up? If I give you some good energy, because we're about to go into the next segment. Let me get some thumbs up. Do you feel good, guys? Give me those thumbs up. Yes, you're good. Yes, you're good. Yes, you're good. Yes, you're good. You're feeling good. You're smiling? Fucking, oh, I shouldn't swear. Sorry. This has got to go out. Dan, can you edit that bit out for me? Like, is this live? So, I want to talk to you about, I'm going to introduce a friend of mine now. Her name is Manny Quinn. This is Manny Quinn. Last week you saw me do long layers on long hair and how to protect them. How to protect your client's long hair, but she wants to feel beautiful, volumized, light movement in the hair without jeopardizing that weight and length. That's what you wanted. And that's what we did. That was such a nice, easy haircut to do. And we talked about the layering and how we layer and how we kind of differentiate the type of layer that we need to use at certain time on the head, or certain times of length, or just certain kind of things that clients would like and need. And then we just kind of broke a little fringe in there as well. Now, I can recap on that another time. I'm going to make another video because the recording didn't come out very well. But hopefully today you'll be able to watch this live or watch this on a recording and go back to it for your notes. So here we have another mannequin. Now, I'm going to go do something that I really love doing in the salon, which is a nice, dusty, blonde, wavy kind of lob with a little bit of texture at the ends. It just floats up lovely.
Sorry, Dan.
Yeah.
Just to stop you there. Just answering a question for everybody.
Yeah.
Last week's one we didn't put up on YouTube because the visuals weren't great because we were running off of a bad camera. But this week, yes, we will be putting everything up on the YouTube channel. I will put the link in the chat in a second. But if everybody can head over there, you'll be able to watch everything over, as well as the coming content that we'll have coming up.
It will all be stored on there. I love that. Do you know what? I'm really getting fascinated with the world of technology. You know us guys, we're not very technical, except for Justin. Obviously, Mr. JK, he's very technical minded. Some of the stuff he does is incredible. And he's a genius at it. And you need to learn from the ground up. He's going to give you some really good moments later to kind of write down. It's just a starter of what you should be knowing, just generally within the social media and marketing world, because we are our own boss. We will always be our own boss. Yes, we work for someone. We're very privileged to work for somebody else. But technically, if you don't take care of your own business, you won't work within that business. The bosses will do their best to make sure their business is right. They'll give you a nice guideline and rules and the ethos that they need to follow by. They give out the vibe. They get the right tribe. I learned that one from Ian at Ocean, very good friend of mine. So here we go, guys. Now I want to kind of teach you something about face shapes. So there are several face shapes that we have. And I read a documentary piece, or a little blog that was there, and it said it was from a plastic surgeon. How does he focus his attention to detail? Because how he was explaining it is you can move your nose from here to here. You can have a little lift here, here, a little pop here, here, and he can reduce what we are known as, what our mindset says, is the most beautiful face shape out there. And then what he does, he has a chart, and he always works on this one physical chart. And if you come in, he'll measure you on this chart. He'll just adjust certain things that you're not sure about yourself to make you slightly more symmetrical, but not symmetrical. But he's always aiming on. There is the perfect distance from here to here. This is what we see as attractive. Sometimes I find the most unusual things attractive because I see deeper. But if you want to just say on a face value, it's what we're very good at because it's on the outside. You do see beauty on the inside more. It's one of those things. You got something inside you that's gorgeous. You're gorgeous. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter what this looks like sometimes. If inside you're gorgeous, you ooze gorgeous, and you ooze. It's lovely. I've got some guys that I know that are just the most beautiful people in the world. most humble, kind, gorgeous people. Now, when I look at someone's face shape and I'm designing a haircut, instantly as they've sat down in my chair, that's what I do. I do a quick scan, like a little robocop. Information go in, cool, got that. Look at hair type, got that. Sweat the hair out the face. Do you know when you get a client, okay, and you sat there, and you sat down, you sat in your consultation, and then you go into this, like, I've got this mode, the science mode. Okay, so you've chatted about your consultation. You talked about the importance of consultation last time. Remember the 5 stars? You are a 5-star hairdresser. Remember those. Commitment and agreement. Yeah. Consultation. Hands-on. Yeah. Commentary hairdressing. The big one. Salon goodbye. I learned that years ago. You can have that for free. That makes what your 5-star salon. So here we have, and then I will get behind the client. I will look at her, and I will just pull her hair back, and I will focus on her head shape. Now, whatever hairdresser does that, and you look, you really, really look at her. And in your head, all you've got is, it's not what the day's saying. It's not what, you know, yesterday when you was really upset with, you know, the comments on social media, or you didn't quite get the following you wanted or something. Do you know, the stupid things that we focus on is ridiculous. You know, these things that in our lives we focus on that just, you don't need to. You just kind of just turn up, guys, right? So we're looking at our face shape. And now I'm looking at that. I'm saying, yeah, you've got lovely little cheekbones. Your eye shape's gorgeous here. You know, you know, I pointed out to her, she's got a scar over here. She likes to keep that covered up. And you know, she wants to be more oval. You know, because they're not going to ask you that. You're going to tell them that. You know, we're just going to make your face, you know, do something to complement your face shape. And I think this is going to work. What we're going to do is we're going to add volume here. Yeah, so we're not going to go add volume here because we don't want to make you higher. We want to make it just a little bit wider. Then we're going to close down this fringe area. We're going to put this into there. That's going to make your eyes just pop. See that? Watch this. That's eyes out. Close the face in. Change it. See your eyes just bring up, and that's just because you've closed down the temple areas. Once you close down the temple areas, boom. Now let's take that to an exaggeration of the other side. And this is when you start understanding this. And this would be after your 10,000 haircuts. I hope you all guys did your numbers last week of how many haircuts you've done. So now, look, let's take it to the side profile. What happens? Look at the face change shape. It can change. These faces are all the same, and I want you to kind of try styling your doll's heads at home differently and just get an idea of what that did to the face shape. So change the style, take a picture, change the style, take a picture in exactly the same bit. And if you get 9 of those put up, you'll see that the same face can look very different. So understanding whether you're an oval or heart shape, oblong, square, round, upside down triangle, the other triangle, maybe you look like a foot, you know, but a foot can look beautiful. You know, I'm not saying everyone looks like a foot. But we talked about head shapes last time, we talked about face shapes today. So it's kind of like getting that in tune, getting the ideas, and getting your arsenal of information ready. Does that make sense, guys? I hope so. Now, I'm going to start cutting hair. I'm going to have a look on, I'm going to pin my video, Daniel, because I can't really see whether I'm in a good position or not. Am I in a good position, guys?
Yep, you're looking good.
Yeah, so you can see the whole hair and the haircut.
Yep, right. We can see everything. It's cutting the bottom off just a little bit, but we can
just cutting the bottom off. We're going to cut to about here. Is that in camera shot? Guys, you got to remember, I can't see anything, and I do apologize. It's very surreal because usually we've got a mirror here, and we work to a mirror. Have you ever worked in your kitchen? Okay, you probably have recently. You've done some hair in your kitchen. Now, when you've done that, do you feel a little bit blind? Because we're so used to working within the camera. We're so used to, not the camera, the mirror. We're so used to working like that it throws us off balance. You know, when you're going to do a photo shoot and there's no mirror there, because what that is that's a tool of confidence that that's your third eye. You're visualizing through the mirror. We rarely step back from our work and have a look. But sometimes when you step back from your work, let's say 2 or 3 or 4 feet, you step back and you take a moment to look at what you've done and appreciate it. all those little bits that you'll see will be very different to what you see through the mirror. The light bounces differently on colours. So what you see with the naked eye or mirror eye, it depends on the light reflection that's bouncing back from the mirror, back onto the head, back to the mirror, back to your eye. So sometimes when you get a back mirror out on a gent's cut, and you show around the back, and that line doesn't look as blended as you did before, you get a mirror out, you go, man, that needs another good 15 minutes, that does. I do that all the time, but I do it as a tool. Okay, I'm just going to check the haircut, guys. This is for me. I talk to them. I give the information, because as soon as you hold that mirror up, that's almost a signature say, we've finished. And that's not a good thing, because they will be looking in that mirror for reassurance. It's the only time they're ever going to see the back of their head. The only time they're ever going to see the back of their head is when you show them. It's kind of like a bit of a weird thing. So make sure when you show them the back of their head, that the back of their hair looks as good as the front. But when I'm doing a gent, I'll always look at it for light balance. So I'll check the balance of light. So the light will beam down here, it will reflect into the mirror, and you'll see a darker shadow where you need to work it, because when you step back from your eye, sometimes the light bouncing off it looks really nice. But when you get the mirror and you bounce it another way, same with little bobs, you know, I hold to look under a bob, I would hold a mirror under there. That was an old thing I used to do, but now I stand my guest up. Half the haircuts that I do, I stand my clients up to check them over and finish it off, especially my mid-length haircuts, especially these, you know, especially this. In fact, no, I stand up anything that's not short. So anything that hangs, or I can get underneath and I can start really focusing on my eye line. I'll show you that now. So the importance of sectioning. Here we go. She seems a little bit high for me, but I'll see how we get on. Now this should be fine, because I'm going to work in here. Now there's two things that you need to kind of focus on when you're sectioning. And sectioning is so important. You know, sections and partings are very important. The more complex the haircut comes and the more creativity you put in place, you'll get very good at sectioning. Now, I don't believe in some sectioning patterns such as like zigzag patterns and stuff like that, because if anything, I like to kind of be able to replicate it on my clients. So I'm teaching you salon-friendly haircuts every single time. This is something that I want to, you know, kind of tell you. You don't have to do those haircuts. You can create your standing, your standing now, and your base and your foundations of beautiful haircuts. And then later on in your career, when you start kind of doing shoots and getting models and getting more creative, or the fashion changes, you will then start with better and more technical sectioning patterns. But if you spent, let's say, 25 minutes sectioning your hair, you literally have, you know, the best part of 15 minutes to cut that haircut, because then you've got the drying process. So practicality in the salons is something that I really focus on, because I take 1 hour within that haircut. And if you think timescale wise, 10 minutes is a consultation, 5 minutes is not really where you want to be. If you haven't spent between 5 and 10 minutes with your guest, you don't care. You're not interested in that, or you're rushing them. So you have to sit there and just calm down. That's your time to calm down, gather your thoughts, gather your energy, gather your connection with your guest. Connect with them. Even if you've seen them 50 times in the last year, never, ever, ever underestimate the power of someone else being able to take your company and take your business from you. And remember, you're a business within a business. You always will be. If you leave that salon, you are going to take a good proportion of your clients that follow you via your Instagram or your social media. We're in that world. I don't care if somebody leaves my salon and works 5 meters up the road. What that does is I will try my best to have them come to another stylist that deserves them, because they follow the ethos. I mean, I don't really lose team. And I've got a great team. I've worked very hard on that team. It's took me decades to get there, because I needed to know what I wanted and what I needed to project out to get that back. And I've got some beautiful girls that work for me. And do you know what? They made a little video the other day, and I cried. I'm a bit emotional right now. Okay, you're probably guessing. I'm a little bit emotional. I ride in the waves, and it's been a tough weekend and stuff with my brother's birthday. So, you know, this is something that they sent me at the right time. You know, when you let someone just send you something at the right time, and all that was a collective video of all them just holding up this piece of paper and saying, thank you, and we'll come back and we'll see you soon. I thought that was lovely. So when we're sectioning, we've got the wider teeth of the comb, so I'm going to use my big comb. I'm going to use that little point there, and I'm going to draw that through the head shape all the way down to the bottom here. Now, how I do that is that I don't really, let me just check she's straight on. She's straight on for me. So let me get her there for you. I will always use momentum of my body to carry something forward. What I do with my feet really kind of plays purpose on what the hair comes out on. So I imagine shapes around me, and I dance around the head in a very geometrical way. I don't even know if that's a word, but we'll use it. And I will then step aside to the left, step aside to the right. I would then, you know, curve if it's a circle haircut, if it's a triangular haircut, I'll stand at the back. These things will keep repeating and repeating and repeating, and they'll lay resonant in you. They'll lay with you. Oh, I remember that. Oh, I remember what Daniel said. I remember what the Perfectionist team said. I remember what my boss said. I remember that guy really get some good mentorship said. And that will stay with you forever. Like I was taught. I was really kind of like, you know, I didn't really have a teacher at the beginning. I found my teachers later when I realized I wasn't that good. I realized I wasn't that good. I want to be better. And I made that dedication just by turning up. Okay, so I will get that. I will look down the center now. Remember this? So I'm just going to do you a center parting, Manny. I'm going to do you center parting. I don't speak like that usually with my clients. I'm going to do my center parting down here. I'm just going to divide that up. I'm then going to take another section from ear to ear, and then I'll pop in your parting afterwards. Is that okay? Excellent. You've affirmed, you're in. Put it in your hands. Okay, so we're going to look down. Now, I'm going to use this side, my finger here, and my finger here. I'm going to drag that through. I'm going to comb that through there. But notice that my elbows and stuff doesn't move. So you've got two options here. You've got the option of doing this, which is using one hand and trying to do your line, and then it goes a bit skew with, but to get a bit more strength on that, get this, draw it through, just like that, all the way through, comb away, holding this hair out the way, just comb over there. Now I won't be able to see that straight. Is that straight, guys? There we go. Well, it's kind of like when I'm teaching, I don't really work in the mirror, I work to your face. And you know, I teach classes up to 10 people privately, and this is a very different way of teaching because you can't really take too much part in the sense of I can see what you're doing, because once you get a thing in your head, you'll realize that, okay, I'm going to go away and do that. And hopefully some of you have done the last haircut. But when you're interacting with somebody there, you feel their presence a lot more. They can help you and guide you in your body position. You know, so I'm not trying to take this away from my education that I do one-to-one. I mean, this way I can get education to you in the purest form as a demonstration. Okay, so now we're sectioned from the front all the way past the crown, past the occipital and into the nape of the neck. I will then check my section for a few moments just to make sure I've got a nice balance. Job done. Now I'll turn my head, my clients, I'll stand at the side, and this is where I'm going to focus on the proportion of layer, because on a head shape, yeah.
We have a question.
Okay.
What is the name of the doll's head being used? And also, if anybody needs a doll's head, where can they get them?
Okay, so Daniel, have you got that link I texted you earlier?
Yes, I do. I shall put it in the chat now.
Okay, so this is a champion company from France. I love this guy because he's really passionate. I mean, this is, again, it's like, why? You know, everybody sells doll's heads. They come with hair. You know, some are good quality, some are bad quality. This guy checks his quality, and he has a great knowledge and understanding of how they're made and why they're made. And the reason they're made is so we can practice on that. And he's continuing to develop new products all the time. So in your link now, you should have a message there. That's where you can get these stands as well that don't tend to wobble because you've got like a nice little foot clamp on those. I can show you that later. But I'm not wearing any trousers, so I can't put that down there. I actually got no pants on either. I'm joking. Can you imagine if I'm standing there, just top half? Can you imagine? Okay, so there we have what I tend to do.
Another quick question, Dan.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
This is from Andrew.
Andrew, what's that Andrew's surname?
I apologise, I'm quite bad at this, so I might...
No, you're fine, man. You're about as good as reading this.
Fit Minister Double?
That's what you did catch it, Fit Minister W. Okay. We'll go with that one, brother.
Would you always cut to a centre parting?
No, guys. I would section to a centre parting to get my equilibrium. I would to get my focus on, centre quadrants. So most of my haircuts are usually made up of either top, middle, and bottom. But most of them are made up of that section, that section, that section, and that section. So depending on what haircut that I do, but we get into those, and the more haircuts we do. So last time, this is cut exactly the same as the last haircut. It's cut very differently in the way we layer it, and you get a different outcome. But the haircut system is the same. So you start with your layer if you wanted to, or your length. Today we reverse it because I want the length to be precisionally good and beautiful and slightly curved and ungulated towards the front. We will focus on that, and I'm going to tell you the importance of sectioning and how we section those. Now I've sectioned from there to there. The reason I've kind of like just gone, if you can see there, just behind the ear, I come down all the way. Because most of the haircuts that I've ever done in my life, the layer always comes from here. I never blow dry that bit forward. It always has a little bit of a bump it, because I know in my mind's eye, the question mark of a head shape is the most elegant from a side point of view. It's the S, it's the swan neck like. So if we all walked around with bald heads, that's what we'd automatically get. So you almost want to imitate that with hair. That's why the 60s were very sexy. 60s was probably one of the sexiest times of, that was just like elegant bouffants, you had the bump hits. And then if you want to kind of bring it down to the 70s, you just flattened it out, didn't you? I mean, we talked about decades of fashion last time, and study your decades of fashion. Get a book called Decades of Fashion. Dan, if you could find that book, Decades of Fashion, and just drop a link in there, mate, if you've got 5 seconds.
Okay, I'll find that now.
It's called Decades of Fashion. It's got a lovely little cover on it. I think it's with Mary Quannette. Is it Mary Quannette? Mary Quan. And she's sitting there draped in some 70s fabric. But in there it has decades of hair and styles. So, from the 1920s, what's the 1920s? Well, you imagine the finger wave. It was flat, it was gelled, and it was, there wasn't much to it, but there was still haircuts about then. And then you go into your 30s. What does the 30s look like? What do the 40s look like? What is 40s hair? What is 50s hair? Now, I think you're lightening up now. 50s hair, you imagine wartime, you imagine, your victory rolls, your pleats, and you go into your 60s, you've got your bouffant, we're a little bit more released, we're a little bit more there. And then you go into your 70s, it's a little bit more kind of dressed, a little bit more real textures, letting your texture be your texture. So it's a bit frizzy, but it was long. Afros really bang in the 70s, and long afros as well. And then, a bit of disco. You've got to remember disco came after that, and we had, really kind of cool hair. And then you've got the 80s, and that's, the development of the 80s was rebellion. So whatever happens within our political world usually happens to the hair, and it divides people in their tribes. You've got your teddy boys, and then you've got your mods, and then you work up to another one where you've got your skinheads, you've got your punk era, and we diversed massively. We segregated ourselves by the style we have on our head. Our hair, it gave our persona. It gave us what we are, who we are, what we represent. That's incredible, by our hairstyle. And then you had your mums that were home hair colouring and looked like the mahogany carpet that she grew up with, with the big, just blow dried all back and big hair. You've seen those, your mama out there, And if your parents were born in the 90s, woo, that all went wrong, didn't it? It's like little slip back, ponytails, all that. And then you go into your noughties. Well, where did the noughties carry us? Well, it was only in 2008 that then the colour became such a signature thing within your industry. So the colour became the dominator within the hair. And the haircut was kind of floating away and losing its momentum. And then you went into the from the 10s to the 20s, where hair colouring was just insanely amazing. It was hand painted, it was this. And that was all because of a political statement. It was all because of the feeling that we naturally all bonded to. And that was we were short of money, so you could let your hair grow out longer. Yeah, so you had a colour that would last longer. And that's when hand painting come in. Yeah, you see, you're getting it now. It's amazing. So what's going to be next after this one? I wonder.
Dan, that's exactly the question that's been asked. What do you think will be the trend from lockdown?
Oh, come on. Okay, here it is. So we are now, hey, we're all in the same boat. Let's talk about it, all right? We're in a financial crash as well as a pandemic. Out of this, there is not going to be much money floating around. There are some people that, let's say, we divide the nation, people that still work and still do very well. But we rely on everybody doing well. We laterally rely on everybody doing well. So some of our clients, one, won't be able to come back and see us for quite a long time because they're vulnerable. So let's knock off 30% of your clientele will not come back to you. They will still be isolated or they will still be older. It's going to happen. So you now need to get a new generation of clients. So you need to refocus your attention to what your client base looks like. So anybody over 70, they've still got to self-isolate. Anyone with heart conditions, lung conditions, anything with an underlying illness, they can't come and see you. Okay? So what we're looking at now as well is that a lot of people maybe have home colored their hair. So there's going to be another fraction of full head colors. Another fraction of beautiful, full head, cheaper services coming in because they want to feel good, they want to look good, but they can't afford you. Now, some of them are going to be embarrassed to say that, all right? So you need to get in tune, you need to get very clever and work out what they did want and what they don't. Yeah? Okay. So, and the haircut. There you go, get good at cutting hair because there's going to be a lot of bobs. There's going to be a lot of short hair. There's going to be a lot of that going on. Extensions out the window, big 200-pound balayages out the window. Learn the haircut. The haircut will come next. This is why I'm teaching you because I want to prepare you for what's coming. Now that's just my theory, or that's what I would wish for because I really like cutting hair. I don't know which one it is. I'll lose money as well. But second to that is, have you seen Germany opening their doors on the 2nd of or the 11th of May to hairdressers? Why? Think about the why. We work so closely with people. It's because it's all about self-esteem and what they do better. I need to get with the haircut. Was that a good answer?
Yes, I think that was a very good answer. What does everybody else think?
Is that all right? I mean, I'm just making this stuff up off the top of my head. It's how I feel. Left or right part, left or right part, left or right. Okay, so now we've got this separated here. So, okay, Manny, I'm just going to pop your parting in. Where does it sit? Where do you like your parting? No, don't touch it. It's my job. So, no, you cannot have the comb. It's my comb. Get that a lot, don't you? So, what we're going to do now, I'm just going to set that back so you can see me as well. Yeah? Okay. Oh, no, you need to see me. You just need to see what my hands are doing. So now, we have a very different way of layering the top. I need to subdivide this. So, a side parting should always come maybe from the iris and then come over. Now, on the top of the head here, I have my point of cross-reference. And I'm just going to get my comb there, and I'm going to swoop it to the front. And then I'm going to divide that off. And I'm going to pop her parting in and just make it into that section. Just for now, just drag it into that section. Always comb from scalp to ends or from ends to scalp. So if it's knotty, you work your comb up and work across there. And we're just going to push that aside. And this is going to set my side parting. We're going to dress her with a side parting. And the difficult thing is when you're layering side partings, you get a very diseven proportion of hair. So you've got approximately this much hair traveling a longer distance down here. And this is very careful. And then this side is a lot lighter. So we've got a really heavy side and a lighter side. What I'm also going to do later on is I don't like to pre-section everything. I like to section as I go. It's just the way I work. Some people like to have the whole haircut mapped out. I have it mapped out in my head. But what I won't do is then wrap up lots and lots and lots and lots of little sections until, you know, unless it's more of an advanced haircut or I'm trying to be Mr. Fancy Pants, I wouldn't section off too much. But what I do like to do is make sure that the hair isn't in my client's face all the time, and it's not dripping in her eyes, and she doesn't feel uncomfortable. It's about kind of feeling really confident with your hairdresser, and your hairdresser's looking after you at all times. You know, it's when you're prepping a colour that you have, you know, you are a smart colorist, you tidy up around you, you keep your tint bowls really tight, you swap your brushes if they're starting to get messy, because you can't work in a disorganized or dysfunctional way. If your sections aren't nice, your haircut usually will be a bit lost as well. So, you know, you've got to pay attention to that, and pay attention to your client's feelings and how she's feeling about when you're cutting her hair. Okay, so just pop that in. There we go. So that's the front sorted out. Now we're going to come to the back. Okay. So we've got the back of the haircut here. Which way do I like to work? So Daniel, you will be my eyes on this, buddy. So whatever the guys can see, because I like to move around. I'm new to this, guys, as well. You've got to remember I'm new to it. I'm learning. So what you can visually see and what I can visually. I'm going to change my comb. I'm going to go down to a smaller comb now. That's this one here. Okay. Now I only use these clips as well, these little silver clips, because they're disposable and they don't crease the hair. When you use your big crocodile clips, that's only really for when the hair's in a dry state and you want to get it out of the way very quickly, such as when you're colouring. But I still wouldn't use it on colouring, because when it clamps the hair, it creases the hair, it changes the hair density, and you want the hair in its most natural form. So when you're using clamps or scrunchy clips or anything like that, it can press the hair too much. They're more for home, they're for effortless at home, really, to get it in and grab it quickly and it holds it up, whereas we have a little bit more time. Now what I'm going to look at now is tell you the difference of why we take a diagonal forward section or we take a diagonal backward section, okay? So the reason, and this is just a theory, there may be a write-up on this as well, because it's just something that I've always had that question. I've never had one answer to it. So we'll come up with just a couple of answers. Why did we take a section on a slight diagonal forward? Why would we take a section straight? Why would we take a section that way? Well, it all depends on the outcome of the haircut and the flow. And plus, we're always working on a circular basis. We're working on a sphere, always working on a sphere. Not unless you're working on some sort of alien, which is never going to happen. We're generally working on a sphere and a flat neck. So the reason that I'm going to take this first section, so I'm going to take it here, I'm going to pull down, pull that across there like that. Okay. Now I'm going to comb this hair into my hand just very quickly, get it out the way so we're not working on any of the hair that we don't need to work on. Careful that I don't keep integrating the front, so I'll give that a nice little comb. Now I've prepped the hair with moisture kick. I used a nice little Hydro moisture kick here. I've prepped the hair with that just to get a nice even distribution of moisture all the way through the hair, like you would when you moisturize your face or you cleanse your face and then you put a nice little kind of foundation on before you lay the makeup on. It just helps close the cuticle down, whether it's a repair or whether it's a moisture or whether it's color they need. You sell them that. You don't sell them that, sorry. I never really sell. You guide them with why you're using it. Remember, it's all about the why. People will buy into your story more than they will buy into your sales. So if you put a why behind the product, I love this product at home because I use it to do this. I use this product to actually shave my legs. It makes my skin feel amazing. And because we have a crossover between the two things we have now, we have the cosmetic world and we have our world, the hair world. And they cross over quite a lot. A lot of the ingredients that we use within our products these days within Sports Golf Pro are usually, representations of what they would use in the world of makeup or skincare, because skin is made up of keratin, your nails are made up of keratin, we're all kind of made of cells, and all those little kind of cell effects and everything else in our products are in our hairdressing products now. So you'll hear the word collagen a lot, Q10, you'll hear that a lot. Because what we've learned is that to create good marketing and good suppleness to the hair, why are we not treating the hair as good as we would treat our skin? Makes sense, doesn't it, really? Just going to get this out of the way. Okay, so let me just check that section. Yeah, that's good. So we have now a diagonal forward section on both sides. What that does and what that plays a part on is one, that we know that the haircut is going to be slightly triangular and not too curved. If you take a straight line, you tend to kind of lean into your line and your body's position changes with the shape of your section. Whereas what this allows us to do is kind of remind ourselves and actually actively put the comb in this way, comb the hair down, and you tend to comb it towards the back of the shape. But what if you took a line nice and straight around here? That almost says that you need to reach round and cut into that shape. So that's why we have diagonal back sections that are slightly diagonal forward. And that helps us then remind ourselves that we're going to create a slightly concave line as well for the stretch of the skin as it jumps up, because we get all of this hair at the back of the haircut, okay? So there's lots of hair here, so we spend a lot of time on the back because the front's slightly easier because we have 50% less hair. And then we make that 50% less hair and we have then 25% of that. We have a fringing or a side fringe. We don't just never keep it long. So we have a good portion of this hair at the back, a massive portion. And to get what you do at the back really dictates the strength of the front. And we've got in there. God, we've got a lot of you on today. I'm feeling a bit nervous. Is this good information? I hope so. Yep.
Just to remind everybody how much everyone sharing last time helped as well.
Oh, yes. When you shared, guys, I've got a little thing for you after this haircut. And I want you to kind of have this in your eyes that I need your help. You've all got a social media channel. I'm not making any money out of this. Hopefully, you know, my educational business will still have a nice platform and that will sell my advanced courses. That is an idea, but I'm not worried about the money right now. What I want to do is cut hair and teach, and you learn, and you feel better from every single seminar that you come on. Okay, that's my ultimate goal here. You know, even if I make it not one penny, this cost me a lot of money to put together. Of course it did. You know, the technology that went behind it, the doll's heads that I'm cutting now, 35 quid. You know, the camera that I'm using. It's not about the money. It's the legacy that I'll be left with now. The legacy that you're left with. That you turned up. You turned up. You became part of this. That was passionate. So later on, I'm going to get you to do something on social media for me. Let's kind of see if, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see my page light up. So I need to get you guys following me. So anybody that's on my seminar right now, webinar, you're in my circle. We're a circle connected. Drop me a DM, just with a red circle. You can get that in your emoji. It's just a red circle. I dropped it in there. It's all it is a red circle. You only see one circle and it's red. So that's the circle that we've now, that's mine. And I want you to put that in there. Just drop me that. I'm going to create a group with you all, and we're going to work together to grow each and every single one of your social media. I'll show you how we're going to do that. We're going to talk with Justin about that more a bit later. I'm going to give Justin an instruction. He's going to put that together for us, and he's going to keep the momentum. We're going to create a reboost group where all of us will put our best work and our achievements into that group for other hairdressers to respect and like for advice. It's not a group chat. It's not like, how's the weather? It's about work. It's about what we've created with. Let me get on with this haircut. Okay, so now we have this section. Normally, I would pop the head slightly forward. And the reason that I pop the head slightly forward is that I can work cleaner and close to the head. Not necessarily, when you put the head forward, are you actually doing anything to change the graduation. But if you think, if that skin underneath, you've got a curve, once that skin is flattened out, the density of the hair changes, okay? So the hair, if you imagine hair coming down from that, what does that look like? Okay, so that bit's cut there. Okay, so that's normal, yeah? That's with the head up in its upright position. But as soon as you stretch that skin out, the top hair becomes shorter again, and the bottom becomes longer. Think about it, yeah? There's a good demonstration I'll do later maybe when I find a live model. Alive. So when you cut that underneath here, and then she puts her head forward, that's going to stick out. But if you've stretched it, and you cut that, and then you cut your next section, and you cut your next section, and you cut your next section, when she puts her head there, that physically tucks itself underneath the haircut. If you're going for a haircut that tucks underneath, such as your bobs, you want lengths, you want them refined, you don't want graduation pulling out. So that's how you get the balance from that. But you don't always keep the head in that position because you don't want too much stretch around the sides of the hair because there's no hair there. So eventually, after you've done a few bottom sections, you then raise the head up and then it just becomes beautiful. And if you drop a curve in there, when the head is forward, when you raise the head, the curve flattens out. So you cut a curve in there, when the head is forward, when the head comes up, it flattens out. You'll see this as you're progressively doing that, but pay attention to it. Learn it. Because then if you wanted more of an inverted bob, yeah, you take that curve even stronger from the middle point. And then when the head comes up, you still have a curve there, which will then give you the undulation of the sides to join in fluidity. You know, you don't come up and then come down. It just comes down and it looks really, really stunning. I'll show you a video on my Instagram later. Okay, so I'm going to use my Keto 5.5 scissors. I like using these scissors. So they have a really lovely ball point in there, really lovely flow. They're nice and light. They're offset as well. Now, I do like using these. I do change my thumb position quite a lot. So I don't put my thumb really heavy into the scissor. I just ride the thumb. That's why we have this little kind of dip. We have this little dip here. It's just there. Excuse my nails. I have a nail keratin deficiency. So I don't bite them. I should tell them I'll bite them. I mean, they're quite... Oof, I hate them. It's really something, you know, there was a lot of insecurities about everybody, and that's one of mine. And damn, I'm a hairdresser. My hands are always in shop. So here is a little thumb mark here, and where it just allows you to release your scissor, just so you can kind of have a little bit more kind of play with that kind of area. So you can kind of like move that around, you know, when you want to get a bit straighter. There's certain things that I can't do. You know, there's certain things that, you know, like I know a friend of mine, Rick Roberts, he can hold his scissor in such a fascinating way. And I tried to do it like 50 times, but I'm just like, well, actually my haircuts came out worse, but yours are really good. So if you have a lovely, unique way of holding your scissors and you feel really comfortable, do it for you. Don't do it for the show. Don't do it for your show. You know, I do flip my scissors, and that's only because I want to hold it in the palm. They should be a bit tight, by the way. Okay, anyway. What I'm going to do here now is I'm going to take a small little section out like that. Now, to start with, sometimes I integrate some clips just to make sure that I'm not working on top of myself. I'll just hold that out the way. I'll just get that section out the way as well. Now, I'm not going to dip her head forward because her hair shape isn't going to change for me because she has a plastic neck. So the hair won't change shape when I finish with it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to comb from roots to ends. We're going to pick a length. Okay, so we make sure all that hair is really there. Now I'm going to choose a length which is just predominantly around the bottom of this doll's head's neckline here, which is your mid-length haircut, which is very hard to cut because you cut on the tilt of their back. And if the head shape goes like this and tilts out on the back of her head, you tend to kind of get that and it kicks it out. So it's always a difficult length to navigate. There's a pinch of about 3 inches between looking good and not looking good because you've got the trapeze muscle here and then you've got the spine here. And depending on, you know, just how that sits and how much time they spend on the computer can really kick it out, you know, like, and as hairdressers, we do that all the time. We're like this, we spend our lives down. If we're not doing it down here, we're then on our phones as well. If we're not focusing on our hair, we're focusing on our phone. So that's why I always have stools, because then you can sit on the stool and look through it. And also I use my hips and my knees a lot more than my back. You know, I've learned that because I'm getting older, guys. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to pull that down. Now, there's 2 different ways of cutting this. There's this way where I've turned the section out. So I've actually turned it out and moved it away from the head shape. So if you can see that now, I'm going to get that a little bit closer for you. Okay, so I'm going to cut it from here. Okay, so here, Now I'm going to palm the scissor away so I don't cut the hair. Not trying to be fancy, guys. I'm just cutting hair. And then as you hold the hair down and you flick it out, and then you cut on top of your hand, let's say, like, let me do a longer one, and you'll see. So I'll cut that, and then I'll cut that there. Or I use my blade like that and cut like that, whichever way. That way, palm to palm this way, knuckle to knuckle, palm to palm, knuckle to knuckle. There's 2 ways of doing that. So that's cutting that way or cutting that way. Depends what your flavour is. Not everyone's built the same. Not everybody can cut the same, but it doesn't matter. I realised that one. Someone just tinged in my ear. Who just tinged in my ear? Anyway, so if you cut the hair like this, the outcome of that is that the underneath hair is longer. And you can see that fractionally there. Let me just see if I can get that up for you in the image for you. So that hair there is slightly longer underneath. But look what naturally happens to the hair. It takes on the shape that you've cut. You can really manipulate the type of cut that you want or the outcome by the way you hold the hair. Now, if you wanted to get that straight and under, what I tend to do is I really come down with the guest as well. So I get right on the eye level so I can see through that hair. Okay, so I can see through that. And then I will then sculpt the hair, get it in between my fingers, especially on this length, because you need to get as close to the body as possible. You can't use your comb as the guide on this because you need that tension. You do need that tension. I find that you do need that tension. You get it as close to the body, so you only want 1 finger depth if possible. 1 finger will still give you a slight graduation, but if you've compensated for that by the way you've cut, the way you're going to do the hair, by the way you tilt her head, sorry. Okay, so I'm now going to come underneath. So I'm going to get my scissor, nice and flat like that. Not like that. Like that. Just tilt my hand down, drop your wrist. That's a lot more comfortable to work with. Comb the hair down, pull it down, cut underneath that line. But push your scissor in and pull it out. So you can see that I'm kind of like going in and out, in and out. And the reason I do that is because each cut that you do will push a certain amount of the hair away from the scissor, even if they're really, really sharp. It's just a habit that I got into. Now I'm coming down, I'm just going to slightly pull that in and give that a slight over direction. So that means I'm just pulling it over slightly, just ever so slightly. And then I'm coming back in and I'm cutting underneath like that.
A quick question from Chloe Hunter.
Hello, Chloe. How are you, darling?
Would this technique cause unwanted graduation?
This technique can cause unwanted graduation 100%. And the reason that is, if you don't pay attention to the position of the head shape and the position of the head, sorry, like, so she has to be tilted forward to create that little bit more tension. What happens is the skin and the neck and everything and the shoulders will give you a bit of graduation. Now I'm going to show you how to get away with that now. So you've cut that into your hands, okay? And then now you're always going to get that little bit at the end that flicks out because of different volumes within the hair and when the hair is in the right position. So what I tend to do is then try and get my comb right down. So I'm now working really flat against the head and I just refine using the comb. Refine, give it a little comb, have a look underneath. Just get rid of those pieces just with a little bit more freehand. You have to be very careful that you're not cutting a new shape. You're just refining the old shape that you've put in. Then you check your 2 sides for balance. So you cross check, you visually check, you look at it and you say, okay, that's a little bit out on that side. So we're just going to pull that back down and just try and remember that it was only about 1 millimeter. So you just take a little bit off like that. Remember to tilt the blade underneath. You want this whole haircut to sit perfectly. Look how nice that sits underneath the haircut. It just hugs it. It just really hugs that little point there. And you see I've dropped a little curve in there as well. And that's only by taking that section, just slightly moving it towards the middle, but very gently. It's very natural to do that because this hair actually belongs around this side, doesn't it? So whilst I'm standing behind it, I'm going to create that triangular shape. Now, what I'm going to do here is then I'm going to get another section, which is about 1 centimeter to 1/2 inch, depending on the hair density as well. So depending on how much hair the client has is how many sections you'll do. Sometimes I can cut a whole haircut in about 4 sections. Sometimes I have to take about 19. And it just depends on the hair type that walks in and what sort of kind of change of length she wants. Now, there are so many different ways and methods that I cut this haircut. Sometimes I use a point cutting technique. Sometimes I use it underneath. Sometimes I just change it around. I'm now going to integrate that section. I don't want to walk past the camera, so I'm just going to walk around this side. Then I change my direction, so I then move myself to the opposite side of my guest. And then I'll put my finger here to about where I thought it was on that side. And obviously we can't see that because we're just leaning into it all the time. So what we're going to do now is just then get that section and just put it down to your finger and just hope for the best. And then before clipping that out of the way, give it a little comb, come over, just check for balance. Just check for balance. Always check for balance. You can cheat, guys. Of course you can cheat. But the more you don't cheat and it just becomes subconsciously how you work, it will always have a better outcome. The more you put in, the more you get out. 100% in anything that you do in life. The more you put in, the more you get out. Absolutely. Let's say it one more time. The more you put into life, the more you'll get out. Okay, so again, we'll come down. So if I'm not in shot, do you mind if I stand out of shot to see how that looks, Daniel?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can just see my hands there, so you can see a bit closer. So again, we'll take out the middle, yeah? We can take out the middle and just cut our first line there. Or you can divide down the middle and cut one side and then the other. I always like to kind of carry on as I kind of dedicated myself as well. You know, I do chop and change my techniques all the time, depending on, you know, what I've been watching. Maybe I've researched a new stylist. So I was looking at different people online the other night because I want to become an online presence. I'd love to be able to teach across the globe and have an audience. That's why I want to have my YouTube channel go a little bit heavier. So if all you guys can please, you know, follow my link. We didn't get that many last time. And there was, you know, there was a good 70 of you. And now we've got a few hundred. I want to kind of get you all on board and just kind of create that momentum. I'll give it away for free. So now we're going to comb that down. Always making sure, you know, what the hair is doing as well and what the hair is saying is the fact that it's kind of remaining. See, I'm a little bit over on this side. I'm just trying to adapt my positioning to the camera. So do forgive me if I get it wrong. Okay, so there we go. We'll pull that down, scalp to ends, comb it all down, make sure we got all the hair in there. Then bring that section down, get underneath it, use that there. Get underneath that line, get underneath that. See how that lovely hug? Then give it a little tease. You see where my drop just comes down on this edge more than that edge because I'm leaning over. And tell you what, where your body position is, it really dictates on the outcome of that haircut. You know, if you've got, yes?
We have a question regarding that from Lucy.
Hello, Lucy.
I always find my left side is about 1 millimeter out.
Yeah.
I've tried changing my body position, etc.
Yeah. I'm
aware I do this, yet I always find this happens. What am I doing wrong?
Nothing. Not doing anything wrong. I'm 25 years into the industry, my friend, and to know your mistakes makes you a better hairdresser because your awareness of these mistakes, you will always get these mistakes. Still to this day, 24,000 haircuts later, I still get an area about here. I think you'll feel the same. And that's because the left and right-handed person, sometimes you get it right straight away and you didn't realize why. But the more and more you make those mistakes, you have to keep registering those mistakes because they're not mistakes, they're good pieces. They were supposed to be there sometimes. And sometimes it is left and right. And all that is checking. I have to cross-check my work all the time. I make a lot of mistakes in my work still. A lot. I've been cutting hair for 25 years. And I always think, why is that? Was I not on the right time? But eventually, as mistakes become so minute, and we almost see them coming as well. So when I've dried that bob down, I get a little bit long behind the ear. And that's only because the ear shape changes and you come around the ear. But actually, if I didn't have that mistake, perhaps I'd cut a hole in it and then it will jump up. I'd rather have a bit that hangs out and I can refine that later. So it's better to make the mistakes, dry them in, and then see the hair as it is, see how natural it can be. So the mistakes are natural, guys. I need to now just press you out, sorry, because I need to leave. I can't leave past the digital camera. I'm using an A500. Is it A510, Dan?
It's a Sony A510, A5100 technically.
Great bit of
but
kit, so
just to let you know, we've had a few people saying in the chat that they also have one side off. So you're not alone, Lucy.
You're not alone. I'm having to dance around this camera, guys. Obviously, please forgive me if I make any mistakes. I don't know. I'm not worried about mistakes. Sometimes I used to get really proud of them. You know, think, oh, you know, I'm not good enough. I'm not good. I'm never going to get it. But actually, it's part of the process. It's part of the learning process. If you don't make the mistakes, you're not really paying attention. Like, if you're the best person in the room, you're in the wrong room. You know, unless you're a teacher, you have to kind of be the best. You do have to kind of have an element of the best. But when I'm teaching, guys, a lot of the time, I will look at other people's work that have come to my course, and I'm like, damn, you're good. I mean, I think I had a Rebecca. There's a Rebecca. Now, she worked for a company called Bad Apple, and she came to my course just a few weeks ago, my courage and cutting course, and she was one of the best stylists I've ever met. And she cut the hair so beautifully, and she paid to be on my course. But she didn't actually need to be on my course. So what was her why? Rebecca, are you online now? Can you say in the chat if you've tuned in or not?
Yeah, she's online.
She's here. Lovely. So Rebecca, can any of you unmute Rebecca? Is she there? Are you there, Rebecca? You managed to do it, Daniel, or is it something I've got to do?
Hello.
Hello, mate.
Hello.
How's it going?
All good. Just making a bit of breakfast, listening to you.
Breakfast radio morning. Daniel Granger live on your Mondays,
exactly.
making it sunny with a red circle. Exactly. How's it going, mate?
Yeah, we're all good. I've just been tuning into all your online seminars.
Oh, wicked. Now, Rebecca, like, just to the guys that are listening, we've got about 150 people at the minute listening to us. So you came on one of my courage and cutting courses, and you've been a very good qualified stylist that's really into, the haircut and the understanding of the haircut. Why did you come on my courage and cutting course?
I think for me, it was more about refining and getting back into classics. I mean, I love creative haircuts, but I just wanted to go back to the foundations and the standards and face shape and refinement and bobs. And obviously I checked out your page and you were all about that. And then I've been made an educator within my company.
Yeah, who do you work for?
Bad Apple Hair.
You work for Bad Apple Hair, and they're quite a raising company, aren't they? They're quite at the top of their game within the education side of things, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. And I think I've been taken under Michelle Thompson's wing and Aid Tams, and they've been cutting hair for 20 years, say, but I just wanted to see a different perspective on teaching as well. And you're obviously, I've seen a lot in the comments last week that they say that you're very motivational. There's different elements to your teaching. I think that's something to take on, because like if you listen to everything that you say, you don't always look at it from just a hairdressing point of view, like the how, the what and the why. You're looking at cars, the mind, the communicating. There's different elements. So I think that's really cool to take.
We're not just hairdressers these days, are we?
Yeah, exactly. And it's cool to take back to your clients and just have more knowledge on everything. I think I'm massive on learning. I'm never too proud to like stand and watch and look and learn. So no matter how old or young someone is, I just think it's a really good sort of ethos to have. So that's why
I've got this thing, Rebecca, that because I don't know. Do you know when you just connect with someone? We really connected that day, didn't we? We really connected
definitely.
in our language of hair. I mean, I know it's stupid and it looks a little bit kind of like, oh, it's just fucking hair. But to us, you know, it's a lifestyle. It's like a musician. And music is everything.
Yeah,
with hair,
exactly.
It's hair is everything, isn't it? And
definitely.
Tell me one of your goals that you wrote down.
So there was 3, but the main one was the confidence trick.
Confidence trick. You like that? That's the book I'm writing right now. I'm writing I'm writing that book, and I told you about my past, didn't I? You know, I told you the darkest secrets that I've held through my childhood and that. And I had to find a way of staying alive. I know that's a bit dramatic, guys. Yeah, no. But with everything bad that happened to me, my brain was built with memories of sadness and despair in adversity. Adversity is a word that I've picked up on, which is adverse times is what we are in now. It's, you know, it's hard times. Scarcity becomes a thing. Just cross-checking that. Look at that. Boom. A little bit longer on this side. Usually I'll be stood right behind the guest on this and pulling the hair slightly back in. But, you know, the confidence trick, it's, you do a lot of teaching in front of people, Rebecca, and that you need a certain element of confidence for, don't you? So what did you learn from your confidence trick? And by the way, that's not something that is solely for me. That's, everybody has their own confidence trick. And it's about tricking the mind into being confident. Do you remember when I talked about that line? You're going to get that. That line will just disappear one day. That the unconsciousness of being confident will be amazing. So what did you get from that, Rebecca? Sorry.
I think mainly just how to sort of present yourself and how to care more about what you're saying, and definitely what you was talking about earlier, the what, the how, the why with everything. Like a lot of hairdressers just dive straight into a consultation. I've watched old colleagues of different hairdressers on seminars and stuff like that, just not focus on like really key elements. And I think the confidence trick allows you to see every step of that consultation thoroughly. It's even confidence, the first step, getting your own energy and your own mood into the right place before you even see that client. I thought it was really cool that you don't have a staff room in your salon, because like, I do. I think that was really cool.
Don't tell anyone that on the legal level.
I won't. But no, just for reasons of like really keeping that negativity like completely out the door. And you know, the confidence trick helps you to do that. It's just all about staying positive, getting on that right level before you even deal with someone. And you said about they come in, it's like you going to a doctor's or a dentist, like you're nervous, you're anxious, and you've got to be that person to control that situation and just calm them down and just focus purely on how to better their hair and their situation and become their friend.
Even if you're having a fucking if you're having a shit day. They're paying for this, aren't they? They're paying for you. You know, if your boss has come in and he's upset you, or another staff member has upset you, usually 9 times out of 10, that's in the staff room. That's why I took mine away. I mean, I'm very fortunate to have such a vast building where I can do that. Some people can't do that, but I recommend that a staff room should be a thing of the past. You do need somewhere where they can relax and eat. But if you make it your ethos that you don't have a staff room, you can quickly get away with it. Because the times where you're eating, you probably want to leave the building and go out for a bit of food, or go and find a little space somewhere else. You know, being in a room which isn't very creative and nice, it almost, and then you walk out into the noise of the salon, you almost have to keep that rhythm going, don't you? So do you break away in the staff room a lot, Rebecca?
Do I what, sorry?
Break into the staff room a lot.
Well, ours is actually like downstairs where all the guys mix the colour. So personally, no, like I'll go out the back where you make the clients drinks and stuff, but I'll rarely go in it, purely because if I've got time in between anything, I think it's important to stay on the shop floor. And that's what I was saying earlier. even if someone's like just started hairdressing or someone's been doing it for 30 years, I think there's always something you can learn from one of them. Even one of the assistants, they might have done something with a client, communication or the way they've handled a situation that you can get inspired from. And I think it's important because, you know, you can get repetition and tedious days. So if you can keep it fun for yourself and trick your mind into thinking, like, I can see something good out of today, I think it's a strong positive thing.
I really, you know, I tend to find myself, even watching my guys now, they hate it. They hate it.
Yeah.
Stop watching me. No, I'm just enjoying your process, guys.
Yeah.
Take it as a compliment that I want to watch you. I'm not watching you because I want to point out your mistakes. That's something that I'd never do. Never. You know, then again, I've changed my attitude because the hairdressing in my salon is amazing. But sometimes there was these clients walking past me and I'd give them a double check and I'd take the client back to the seat just to refine it a bit more. But I try and do it in the nicest possible way as well, where, you know, I'm not embarrassing, one, the client, and two, not embarrassing the stylist. So it's how that's worded as well. You don't want to make someone feel like a piece of poo instantly because they're proud of what they've done. Do you know what I mean? They have a sense of pride of what they've done on that hair. Yes, it may not be to your standard, Daniel, but how are you going to approach that when you're a stylist and you see one of your trainees not quite grasp it, and you know that she set out to do her best, so you might as well have that go out the door at its best. And that's the point of, you know, I'll pull them back and go, oh mate, that is lovely, because 9 times out of 10 it's lovely, but can I just show you a little trick, a confidence trick? And that could have been that she stood at, yes buddy?
Sorry to interrupt. I do have some more questions for you.
Okay.
And Rebecca, if you're happy, if you're happy that you have had everything answered, I'm just going to put you back on mute.
Yeah,
Rebecca,
no
I'm going to bring you back soon, darling. I'll bring you back.
Yeah.
I'll bring you back.
Okay.
All right, mate. Thanks for your
See you
input.
later, Daniel.
Who have we got
Bye.
to? Do you want to unmute that person so they can ask me the question, please, mate?
Yes, it's actually Neil Williams. Neil, if you're happy to
yourself.
Talk. 1 second. Neil can talk if he wants to.
Hi, Neil.
Hello.
Hello, buddy. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Tell me a bit about yourself, Neil. Where are you from?
Originally from Wigan, but I've lived in London for almost 20 years now.
Wow. How'd you find it? How's lockdown in London?
It's really strange.
Strange, because that place is busy.
Yeah, but it's like a ghost town.
Is it?
If you actually go into the West End. So I work in a theatre in the West End, but I do hair and barbering and beauty as well. So
I know who you are. I know who you are.
And so, obviously, with working in the theatre as well, it was getting so dead towards the end of it, and then we went on lockdown before everybody else, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's you're finding it all right, mate?
Yeah, it's fine.
It's coming on my Monday seminar. Did you join us last Monday?
No, this is my first one.
Oh, so you missed a lot from last week. How are you finding it? Is it all right? Do you feel like you're doing something positive here, mate?
Yeah, I'm loving it. It's great.
So, let me just speak about that. Keep on the line, Neil. I'm going to get to your question. I'm just going to take you through the next part of this haircut. So, the back of the haircut was all cut with a slightly tilted forward. And that's so I can get underneath. I know she's got no skin on her neck, so I got underneath that. Now, I'm just going to loosen her back up, put her into the upright position. The reason I want it in the upright position is because now I'm on the sides of the haircut. So I've integrated, as I've come up through the haircut to cut my line, I then get to about just above the occipital bone onto the secondary curve. And then this bit of the head here is the widest point of the head. It's before the head starts tilting into the top. And that's called the bridal ridge. It's the widest point of the head. So when I do my wigs, I measure from there all the way around there. And that's how I get from there, I get my measurement of the right wig and the right wig cap to use. That's a good tip. I don't use I don't really use a tape measure. I use a bit of ribbon. So I put the ribbon at the front and I'll go around and I'll tape it there. But as we're getting up into this section, the hair it's changing its natural form now because it has to come over that hump and then come into the bottom. So I always have it upright. And plus, when you're cutting the sides of a bob and you're connecting from the back to the sides, you don't want the head in a tilted position, because let's say, okay, so I'm now, that's the shape that so I've put my head forward and I cut that line in and I put my head up. You can see what happens, can't you? That's happened to me a lot in my past. I've got a purdy. Shit, what'd you do? It's hard to get out of mistakes. Go on, go with your question, my friend.
So it was about the training heads that you are using.
Yeah. This particular one. Do you like this one?
Yeah, and the from the company which you get. Are they quite good at being responsive to colouring?
Do you know what? There are certain ones that you won't use for colouring at all, and there's certain ones that you do. So if you speak to the guys at Exoliato, the cutting heads that I use are called Anna, A-N-N-A, and they're just the cheapest one, because they're the most blanket form of processing. So they're designed for deeper colours like your reds, your brunettes, your blacks and stuff like that. They don't really accept too much of the crazy colour really quite well. I say crazy colour or creative colour. Whereas this one I've got here starts at a level base 8. Okay, so this is a level base 8, 9. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of got that tone. If you wanted it flush blonde, all you've got to do is put a purple toner on, shampoo toner. But this one here in particular is called the 1010 NINON. So that's Nin On. I don't know where you got some names from. But this one is beautiful to do all your high lift work, stuff like that. Now, in our circle, guys, that we're going to create of all our friends in the circle, I want you to obviously use these heads. And I want you to give me the best creative balayage you've ever done on the ones that are longer. So you can get some really long ones. You can use it again for your hair ups. And when you get that like little candy cane effect in your hair ups and your blow dries, I have seen some mannequins, never before coloured like balayage, come out just as good as balayage. And they've added a little bit of hair extensions in there. And do you know what? They're incredible. And they've all been done on the Exolia haircuts. These ones are really good for your precision works. Now, if you want to do a really precise bob, you know, the stuff that like Mazzala and Palmer are popping out, you know, the stuff that, I watched A Good Person the other day, Neil, which his name is, I'm going to remember now. I forgot his name. Shit, I'm not even going to talk about him. Wolf. Let's call him Wolf. Can we go with Wolf?
Yeah.
I know his wife's name, Lydia. I don't know why it's gone out of my head. I feel really embarrassed. I'm sorry. Jack. His name is Jack. So Jack and Lydia, and he loves his precision work. He's not an educator, and he never pretends to be an educator. It doesn't mean that you can do precision work and then all of a sudden you're an educator. It takes a lot of an ability to talk about a haircut and do it at the same time. So yeah, get in touch with these heads, guys. Now, I'm going to let you use my discount, okay? Because usually you'll pay about £65 for this head, okay? I'm going to give you that at £35, and that's exactly what. Only through COVID, guys, you can't abuse it afterwards, okay? Because every head that you order through them, I will get £1 for. So at the minute, I'm going to give you at £35. That's how much I pay for my heads, £35. And these stands are beautiful. It does take a little bit longer because they come from France, but you're 100% guaranteed on the right type of head. Now, if you have any questions on that, I'm happy to answer them, or my guys at Exoliata will answer that too. Now, does that answer your question, Neil?
It does, yes. Thank you.
Thanks, man. I'll catch up with you soon. Thank you so much for coming, and please stay to the end because we've got some great stuff on social media. And I hope to see you again next week, and we all become little friends. I like the way I'm communicating with you right now. I feel really like my mate in the room. All right, mate.
It works out really well with the social media as well, because I'm doing Sophia Hilton's social media course tomorrow as well. So
you're doing Sophia Hilton's social media course
tomorrow.
Yesterday she told you to do nothing. It's okay to do fuck all, she says.
Yeah, I know. I love that.
Do you know what? I just think, come on, I love you. But you like, I even listen to her advice. We're friends. We're really good pals. Like, we chat on the phone about this. We chat on the phone about that. There's no ego with her. But when she said that, I went, so shall I stop doing stuff? She went, God, no, that's not what I meant. She said, you read stuff on what you are feeling at the time. So her message, you know, same with Kai Cup Wilson. Their messages sometimes don't reflect on actually what they meant. But what they meant was exactly what they wrote. It's how we perceived it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's the message that we wanted to get from that. And we wanted to go with maybe a little bit more of a negative, like, is she being negative there? Because when you use the word fuck all, fuck and all, usually it could be a good word. But depends what kind of scenario you're in. Anyway, brother, we'll give her a shout out tomorrow. Tell her that I sent you, yeah?
Yeah, I will do.
Wicked, Neil. I'll see you in a bit.
Right.
Cheers, buddy. So now my body position is going to change, guys. Yeah, so now I'm on the side of the haircut. Remember, there's a shoulder here usually, and now I want to tilt it down. If we did a really inverted bob, yeah, I would then pull this round to the back of me and get all my hair in the same direction, coming from roots to ends. Yeah, all of that. Make sure you got the underneath there. And now I'll just flip it back. And that will give me a stretch there. But I find that stretch very unpredictable, because once you kind of turn that hair, you don't know how much pull or density from the front. And sometimes people's are uneven. So I do everything on a visual check. So what I would actually do is I'd turn the client's head. So she'd go from that, and I'd just turn her head. So I can work on this area quite freely. And I do that on long hair as well. It's just something that I've adapted to and I really find works for me. Because now I can comb the hair down and get that in my hands and comb that in, pull it down like that, and then come underneath and just follow my shape from the back. Then I step forward, but I only step forward one step, and then I will take out the front a little bit, and I'll do it in smaller and smaller pieces. Now we are over the ear now, guys, so you really need to comb that down, pull it down. Now here, you don't want too much tension flattening the ear down like this. So you just want to kind of hold it in its natural position with not amazing amount of tension. Just bring it down, bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. Yeah, get your angle. Give it a little tap around there. Just press out some of that, and that will really help. And then sometimes you will comb this down now, and you might find you've got a little noggin here, which is just safeguarded you for when you blow dry that hair up and it sticks above the ear, that will actually fall out straight. So sometimes, as you say, your mistakes are actually purpose. So then what I like to do is just with that tiny bit at the front, I like to bring that in, just take it back slightly, and that will give me an over direction because it's pulling from a longer distance. And then we have a lovely little hook shape there coming down into your lovely little ongulated bob. Just going to do that again on the other side for you, because this time it changes angle, it changes depth, it changes the depth of field because we're cutting upwards. We're no longer cutting down because I'm left or right-handed, and depending on what side you are. So notice that I always keep the hair wet as well. You know, this is one of the most underestimated tools, and you'll hear me say this a lot. And I learned that from a guy called Gianni Scamacci, I worked with very closely. For many years, we did a lot of shows together. And he would talk to, he'd always come over and just give it a little, come on, Dan, you've got, if the hair was that density on one side, it's got to be that density on the other. Okay, so we're going to just comb that, like, I'm always looking up here. Yeah, I'm always looking up there. And then looking up there. So I always look at what I'm combing down, and then my eye line is everywhere. It follows my hand everywhere. I don't cut without really seeing through my hands. I always follow that down. I'm looking at, see, I pulled that out because I wasn't paying attention. Yeah.
A quick question.
Yeah.
When working on a new cut, how do you know your position is right?
Can you get that person online for me, mate?
Okay, I will do.
Who is it?
It is Rose.
Rose, go. So I just made a mistake there. Go on, Rose. Are you
Hi.
in? Hi, Rose.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good, thanks.
I know exactly who you are. How's it going?
Good, thanks. Yeah, how are you?
Oh mate, I'm having an alright day now. I've got some. I've got my tracks on, which give me good energy because I've been feeling a little bit sad. Only because it was my brother's birthday and he would have been 40 had he lived past 30. So you know, a bit of sadness there. But do you know what? This feeling I'm getting today, guys, is I feel really loved. What's your question, sweetheart?
So do you know when you're working on a new haircut and sometimes you just feel like you're in an awkward position and someone tells you you're not? How do you know that?
So someone will come over and they will say to you, oh, you're leaning a bit too left or right in there. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what I tend to do is that I will have a plan in my head of the body positions that I'm going to produce. So if we have a circle, a square or a triangle shape, my body position will always represent that, and I'll constantly pay attention to attention. So I almost have like a, do you know when you're driving a car, do you drive?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're driving a car. When you learn, what did they teach you? What did they teach you? You had certain things you had to do before you could press the pedal. What would those things be?
Well, just put your seatbelt on and stuff.
Seatbelt on. Cool. Check.
I can't really remember now. It's just not.
Ah, see? Do you know why you can't remember? Because you're subconsciously doing it. That's the point. You are subconsciously driving now. Do you drive somewhere and then go, you know, I don't even remember that journey?
Yeah.
Because you have the subconscious ability to do everything at some point if you practice it enough. You have the subconscious ability to cut that perfect haircut in the perfect time, the perfect shape, because you have learned it so much, it's so engineered into you, and the only reason you're ever going to know is because you've been taught it, or you realise that you keep getting that mistake, it must be the way I'm positioning myself or the client's head. And then you just get this array. How long have you been cutting hair, Rose?
So I started, I'm in my second year, I'm a level 2 now.
Yeah. Second year of your level 2. Where's your confidence? Yeah. Where's your confidence? Where did you put it on your line? 8. Where's your lack of confidence? That's a lack of confidence. You're at 8.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Amazing. Do you think you perhaps hit a 7.5 after this haircut? Do you reckon you could get that for me? You can get that for me. Because the stuff that we're teaching you now will live with you for the rest of your life. I promise you that. These moments right now, because we're in an emotional state, you will remember me forever. Long after I'm dead, you'll remember me. You know, I've got 25 years on you. 25 years. I mean, maybe my maths could be a bit shit, but 25 years, 22, 23, 24, 22 years on you. So in that time, you'll remember being taught as much as I've been taught, and you'll remember these little things that just stayed in your head, in your memory. And there will be these certain things. It's like, okay, you know, I should have been at that time on the head. So if I draw a big clock here in my circle, I draw a big clock. And imagine this around, like glowing around your client's chair. Here is 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Down here is 6, over here is 9. And then we're back up to 10, 11, and then 12 again. What I always remind myself, if I'm working over here, only because I can systematically work out numbers better than I can anything else. So if I'm at 6 o'clock, that means I'm cutting a bob and I'm at the back of the head and in the center of it. And then if I travel and I look at my feet here and I just travel round for a round haircut, because you travel in circular motion for a circle haircut, you stand stronger and travel side to side for a square haircut, and for a triangle haircut, if you picture a triangle, it has a strong base and a longer front. So what you need to do then is leave one foot in the triangle and stretch out. Stretch out. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? And it's these things that go, if you turn it into something else other than, oh, you're not in the right position, you turn it into a story, and that story will always remind you of something. It will remind you, or a song, or an emotion, or a rhyme. You know, I have certain rhymes that I do in my haircuts, and they're a little bit babyish. If in doubt, leave it out. So if you've got a section that you don't want to be cut, and you're not sure whether it's going to go too short, if in doubt, you leave it out. Simple. So think of yourself cutting hair around the clock. If you was on 3 o'clock now, I'm on 3 o'clock to my haircut now. When I cut the other side, what time will I be on?
6.
Nope.
Oh, I can't think.
Think of a face of a clock.
Yeah.
Think of a face of a clock. So we've got 12 at the top, we've got 3 here, we've got 6 here, and then the opposite of me will be...
And what are you on?
I'm on 3. I'm on 3 o'clock
3.
right now. Yeah,
9.
so I'll be on 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Exactly. So if I move now to 3:30, this is going to mess with your head. So now I'm at 3. I'm now at 3:30. What time would I be on the other side? The logical answer is backwards.
15:15.
I'll be at 8:30.
Oh.
You see what I mean? It's
Yeah.
those things. But that works for me. It doesn't work with anybody else. It works for me because that's one thing I'm used to is time. So if I wanted to cut a fringe, what time would I stand at?
12.
12 o'clock. There you go. You're winning now. You're kind of getting it, didn't you?
Yeah.
You're getting the circle, the square, and the triangle. They're the dominating shapes that you'll always cut in your first years. That's all you need to know. So all you need to know is line, which is cut at 0 degrees, layer, which is cut above and lightens the shape, and then graduation is everything in between. Yeah, that's a gradual build-up of length and weight. And we covered that in my last week's lesson. I will definitely go more in depth in next week's lesson and go through that. I can hear birds in my ear. Are you outside?
I'm in my garden, yeah.
Oh, how lovely. What's the weather like?
It's sunny, yeah.
Oh, lovely. And where are you from?
Leeds.
You're from Leeds.
Yeah.
I love it. I've been to Leeds a couple of times. Nice town. It's very kind of like student town as well. Very young vibe there. Is that right? Good night out now and again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thanks.
All right, mate. I'll catch up with you soon. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure you come again next weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sunday. Promise.
Promise.
I promise. Cheers, mate. Cool. Now, I just wanted to take you through the rest of the haircut because now we're on the final position. And you can see how that's kind of proportioned out. Because I'm not really worried about too much at the top because I'm going to layer the top, which is the easiest bit. What I'm going to do now is get my final sections. I'm going to release them from the whole haircut, okay? So that they're literally got no clips in there. They go into its natural fall. I go to natural fall first, okay? So where around the head does that want to sit? And I'll walk round and I'll comb it in until all that hair has a nice little home of where it can sit. How are we doing, Justin? Am I doing all right, Justin?
You're doing amazing.
Oh, thank you, mate. Thank
I'm
you.
loving this interaction with all our guests today.
Mate, we're learning as we go.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We're learning as we go. And you guys, you're not just a number to me. You're not going to be just a number to me. Eventually, I'll see your names and I'll see your person and I'll find you on Instagram and I'm going to follow you back. And Justin, you're going to be in charge of all this social media activity within our group. And guys, you're going to help Justin out. If you want me to promote something that you've done well, as long as you've put our red circle on it, I'll repost it. Now, I mean, it's like a bit of a token, isn't it? It is a token. The fact that I've got 20, how many followers have I got now, Justin? Justin looks after my social media, by the way. I don't always do it myself because I can't actually read and write. He's learning it and he's going to grow with it. You watch him grow now, guys. You watch him grow because we've dedicated this. I phoned him up and I say, mate, does this sound right? Does this spell right? Should I use these hashtags? And he went, Daniel, I need to take down half your work because it doesn't read right. You're not giving a good message. But I don't really care, guys. I personally, I don't really focus too much on it. I do use it as a great tool, but I'm not very good at it. There's certain things I'm good at. I'm a good teacher. I'm a good hairdresser. I'm a good cutter. I'm actually a really good colorist, but I haven't colored for you. I do, I color quite a lot actually when I'm a fixer. Has anybody seen Body Fixers? You watch the TV show Body Fixers, okay. So now we've proportioned this out, Justin. Must be terrible. We've portioned it out. You see it's just laying down. We've got all these lovely little points here all the way through the haircut. And they're just floating. So this is where we want to kind of now kind of visually put that hair where it wants to be. Most of this is going to get another haircut, guys, so it doesn't really matter. So we're going to pull that down. Now I'm going to use my comb this time. I feel like I want to use just my comb. So scalp to ends, scalp to ends. Don't just do that. And look how I'm holding my comb. This is a big one, guys. Comb. Okay? Comb. Pinchy, pinchy, crabby, crabby. Duck. Be a duck. Be a swan. Pinch it. Yeah? Don't hold it like that. See that? Don't fist it. No one likes a good fisting. So you need to hold that. I meant that as in fight, by the way. Fighting. Okay? Fighting. Fighting, fisting. Okay? So hold your pinchy, crabby swan. Okay? And let the comb, the depth of the comb, guide through the hair and move the hair. One thing I learned for ages, when I was combing the hair, look, I'll hold it like I shouldn't hold it. Watch what happens. See what happens? See the hair just not really doing it. I'm pushing the hair on itself. I'm going to get really close here, guys, and show you that. When I show you the bob next week, I'm going to show you the bob. Perfect precision bob. Because the bob can only be precision. And then you texturize it. So when I comb the hair down, look, watch. See it just flattening out and giving me that little bend at the end. But if I change it over, okay, and I crab it like a swan, I'm going to drop salt. That guy's dropped salt, salty, you know that guy? So you grab like the swan. And the swan now, you comb the hair, left, right. You can get really into the depth of it. You're not flattening it down. But look at my ends. Look what happens to my ends. You see what's happening? You see what's happening? See, turn under. That's it. Tip for life. You'll never forget that. You'll never forget that. Hold it like a swan. Story. Everything that sells with a story. So there's a big thing about this. You can put 2 images up on your Instagram. Justin, write this one down for us. This is good information. You can put an image on your Facebook or your Instagram. You're proud of that image. I want you to tell me the why. Every time you post something, you tell me the why, the story behind why you think that should go on your memory. Why should that go in your memory bank of memories? Tell me the why. Now, not everything has a why or a purpose, but let's say you did a photo shoot and you particularly cut that hair. Why did you do that? You know, what did it mean to you? Tell people the story. Tell people you. You know, it's not just an image, it's an image with a story. And if we take that back, just there, look, just drag it back. And if we take that over to, like, let's say if we're going to sell a product, which is you, say if you're a product, okay? You are a product of your own success. If you are a product, what would the sales tactic be? What would you say? You know, I'm Daniel Granger, you know, blah, 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 blah. I won't tell you the complete story. I'm not going to work emotional step. Yep.
When you're ready, I have another question.
Yeah.
So I have Daryl Starkey.
Daryl, pop Daryl on.
And he has a few questions for you.
Daryl, we haven't had a chat for a while, for about 25 minutes, have we? Me and Daryl. Daryl, are you there?
Well, if Daryl is there, he can unmute himself now.
Daryl?
Well, for now, we'll carry on.
You're rubbish with technology. You're about as good as me. You need a Daniel Thomas in your life. I tell you. Now, you notice one thing, guys. This side's longer than that side because we've got all this hair at the front. So if you want to check your length to know that the level is longer or not, you take out that small triangle, exactly the same side there. You pull these 2 front pieces down and you check the length that way, yeah? So you pull that down. So you go from here to here. Let's pull that over a bit more. Okay? So you'll go from the front edges here, and you'll check these about right, and then you can find your length. A little bit longer on this side. Yeah, that's how you cross-check the front. Daryl, you just say hi when you're alive. When you're back in, I'll wait for you, buddy, and I'll just keep talking through the haircut. Maybe he's not got his speaker activated or something. Or his headphone jack's in the wrong hole. You put it in the wrong hole? Headphone jacks, they give a lot of feedback. They scream at you when you put them in the wrong hole. I mean, it's getting a little bit naughty, isn't it? This is a bit PG, isn't it? A bit PG. Right. You managed to get him on, Dan? Can you speak to him in the chat? I feel a little bit left out.
I think he's having issues unmuting himself.
Yeah. I have a problem sometimes when I can't stop talking. I'm going to switch. Can I have a time check, Daniel?
It is 1 o'clock now.
So
we need a break soon.
Are you? It's not 1 o'clock.
Yeah, it is.
I was supposed to be finished by 1 o'clock. I was supposed to be finished by 1 o'clock, guys. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. Damn, I'm supposed to be finished by 1 o'clock. Okay, so there's the basis of this haircut, guys. That's how you do a baseline. And now I'm going to show you the layer. Now I'm going to do it in fast time. Is that all right? Yeah? I'm going to do that in fast time because I'm going to then blow dry this length when we come back. And I still want to leave an hour for you guys to get some real in-depth social media tools from Justin. And do you know what, guys? These tools that he's learned, yeah, he's putting into practice. You know, he helped me get the best part of 5,000 followers last time. He said, all you've got to do is change this thing, change this thing. And I went at 5,000 followers because he managed to help me connect with the audience. And he didn't know this. He went away and learned it. He took some time out to learn the skills or my interaction with what he says, what do you want, Daniel? What do you want to know? What do you want? I said, do you know what I want? I want hairdressers on my Instagram because I want to reach out to them. I want to teach them. See what I mean? I can't believe that. It's 1 o'clock, Daniel. I cannot believe it. I'm shocked. I thought I'd be finished by now, guys. I really did.
You really like to talk.
Oh, dude, I've got a lot to give. Is it annoying? I don't know. Is it annoying what I say, or do you just want to get on the haircut? So, anyway, I'll split down the middle. I'm going to show you a nice, quick technique. Nice little line down there. Right down the middle, okay? Coming up from the crown. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the length and my layer. So I'm going to pull her up, wait until that hair starts falling away. There, about opposite score, boom. There, it's falling away. Now I'm going to put a graduated layer in. I don't want to spoil this, guys. I want to do this haircut for you. And I know I'm short of time. So, do you know when you're short of time, you can lose it a little bit. Look at that. So from the widest point of the head, that's my gauge. When the head starts falling away, that's my gauge. I'm going to go with a 45-degree angle here, which is actually 90 degrees off the head shape. I know it sounds very strange. You can get confused with angles. Look, so I stand my body position. I pull that. I want you to see what happens to the hair now. I think that's a lovely angle there. Watch this bit and watch the top bit. Really watch it as it comes down. Look what it does. Look what it does. Look what it does. Look what it does. It then folds that haircut. It just folds the length, gives it some sumptuous in there. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that section, that section, that section, and that section, and I'm going to over-direct into the previous. I don't want to confuse you with that, but basically pull it all the same way. I'm not traveling. I'm going to pull it all the same way. So I'm going to show you that, but I need to be a little bit more quicker. I'm going to do this layer in, 4 minutes. So I'm just going to turn the tunes up quickly, so I'll just stop talking. Alexa, next. That song. So I'm going to pick up section 1 and section 2 together. And I'm going to pull them out. I'm going to cut. I'm over-directed that section. Section 1 is in section 2. I'm going to take away section 1. Section 1 goodbye. Section 2, section 3. Nice straight vertical lines. Yeah, nice little high vertical lines. Yeah. Section 3, now into section 2. See me pull it over? It's going to give you a little hug. It's a nice, easy layer to work with, guys. Only on mid-length hair. Don't use it on your long hair. Now we've got last section. I'm going to pull this right back as well. So I'm going to get section 2 out the way. I'm going to use section 4 into section 3. Ready? Have we got Niall on the line? Guys, there's Niall in the group.
I can get him back, yes.
No, Niall, not Neil, Niall. Niall from Ireland. One of Ireland's best hairdressers. He's got his whole team joined us last week. You can find him. He's on there. He might not be on there today because he's doing some podcasts.
I can't find Niall at the moment.
I can't see him, Daniel.
Okay, no problem. Well, he joined us, his whole team joined us last week. Okay, see that? Directing over. Look at this leg, right? So protecting the legs. That's just falling over. Section 1, away. Get that away. Bye-bye. Section 2. Section 2 and section 3. Okay, section 3 and section 2. I'm using a big comb, so I'm using big hair.
If you can cut and talk, Dan, I have another question for you.
Go for it.
How did you find the confidence to teach? And that's from Joe. And if we can turn down the music just a little bit.
Can we get Joe on? I need to know who Joe is and why she asked that.
Okay, I will do. I hope you're ready, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Hi.
Hi, May. Where are you from?
Peterborough.
Peterborough, just up the road from me.
I am.
I don't know what accent that was, but I lived in Norfolk for a long time, so I used to drive past Peterborough quite a lot.
Well, I did come from down near Watford originally and came this way, so you've just...
Watford girl. How are you doing? You good?
All right, thank you.
Yeah? What's your question?
Right, how did you get the confidence to teach? Because I looked into doing it once and I just thought, I can't explain myself. I don't know how. I went to do my level 3 and I just thought, I don't know if I can do this.
Okay, I wasn't always confident. I remember there was a point in my life where I stood on stage in front of 500 people and I learned by what I don't want to be. You know, I didn't want to be unconfident. I needed confidence in such a way where I could nail it. And all it was practice and perfect. It was know your skill inside and out, and nobody can question your ability. And then you have the power to teach, because you don't want to teach something that somebody could question. You think, you know, I'm teaching now, 200 people, okay? So I'm teaching 200 people on 3 different networks here, and they can call me out at any point. But I've got the confidence that I know my craft so much. So that comes with knowledge and time and practice and dedication. And then the way you speak, the way you act, the way you interact becomes very different, because you are one with your skill. You know your skill. Like a musician would not go on and play 3 chords and not know his chords. He would then play with finesse, and he would play it without listening or looking at what he's doing, and he's in the moment because he's in the moment with you. You need to catch that moment to become a good educator, to connect with someone. I've been in lessons where I've just gone, boring, you're not getting me, because they won't get me because I'm fucking mental. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not that sensei kind of guy. I'm not that guy that can just sit down and focus for hours on a haircut. Show me the haircut. That's your hair.
Yeah, I think I've done plenty of courses, and I've done, like you say, I've been into things and think it's just going in one ear and out the other. But I find with the way you teach things, and I was sitting here earlier and thinking, actually, the way you've cut this, I've been hairdressing like 30 years as well. I'm like, I'm quite bang on, because I'm doing exactly what you're doing. And I'm not saying I haven't taken things from this.
Yeah.
But
no.
I've gone through
I get where you're coming from.
Over the years, quite a lot of, I've got a lot of confidence in my job, and then all of a sudden you go, oh, I've lost it, then you get it back again. So I get where you're coming from. So
it's those knocks that make you, isn't it? It's those knocks that make you.
Yeah.
It's the things that I don't want to be. I've not always been a good teacher. I've got better. I've not always been a good hairdresser. I got better. But it's to know where you went wrong. And do you know what? I've made someone cry once because they weren't listening to me. And I kept on saying, no, you're holding it wrong. That's why you get a wrong roll. and she was actually a manager of a massive salon. A manager of a massive salon in front of all her peers. Do you know what? I left that seminar saying that was like, I had 20 people get it, one person didn't, and I focused on the one person. And I focused on her so much because I think she needed it the most that I made a massive mistake. So I'm continuously learning how to teach. And I read a lot and I watch a lot. I don't watch lessons just not on haircuts. I watch how people deliver medical information because I sometimes need to slow myself down so that they can't make a mistake there. So when they're teaching surgery, they can't make mistakes. So I watch that. I know it's a bit weird.
I ain't going to push you for time.
Oh, of course. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so guys, thank you, darling. Does that answer your question? And I will come back. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. So here, guys. Okay, so I'm just going to take a small section out the front. Remember, from there to there, there's not much hair. But if in doubt, leave it out. So now I'm going to draw all this hair backwards. Nice and easy. You know, this is called a group cut. I'm going to pull that backwards like this. I'm going to then take out my top section so it's nice and clean up and get my angle. And then pull it back. That's called over direction. I found my line that I cut in the top. And then I'm cutting a 45-degree angle here. And you're going to see what that does is that pulls the layer looser to stronger. Looser to stronger. There. Now, this side is thicker, isn't it? There's a lot more hair there. But if we pull it in the same way we did, we'll get the even balance. Because that was pulled there, and that side is going to be pulled here. So those lengths there will always be the same. But if you pulled it up here, you've got a long way to go down, and that way, and they're too even. So that's why I pull them in this way. So a little triangle, ready? Little triangle back. I'll show you that. Ready? Triangle backwards, like that. I then connect with my last section, which was my 5th section. I've got hiccups because I'm panicking about time. But are you guys all right? Just chilling with me. I don't want to rush you. I feel like I'm rushing now. Can you give me a thumbs up if we're all right for time? It doesn't matter how much time there is. Okay, now I've got my guide. Give me a thumbs up if we're all right to run over today, guys. I need to extend the seminar. Guys, if you want to clock off at 3 o'clock, I mean not 3 o'clock, what time did we run the seminar until 2? I prefer you didn't because, you know, Justin's really got some great stuff for you, how to get your numbers up. I don't want to run into his time. So there we go. Look at that. Look how that now hugs the haircut.
Everyone's quite happy so far.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. Well, what else we got to do today? We might as well just be in the circle. Guys, on my lunch break, which is about 20 minutes before we get Justin, I want you all to get a big red felt tip. Or get a digital image from our logo, if you're digital enough. Or Justin, can you find a red circle for me, Justin?
Yeah.
And get a link to it so they can screenshot that. Or no, actually draw it. I want you to draw a red circle. It don't have to be completely straight or anything like that. But if you get, let's say, if you get a bit of ribbon, put that in the middle of a circle, pin it just with your finger, and then with a pencil, tie it around a pencil, and then just go around like that. It's circumference like that. You'll get a perfect circle every time. I do that with colouring as well. Sometimes to kind of get the perfect circle, I put the pin in on wigs, and then I'll show you the example on my Instagram later.
Dan's running an art attack course after this. But just to let everybody know, if they can't stay, this will be put on the YouTube channel later on.
Yeah, but I'd rather you stay, guys, because I've got some good questions for you as well. I'd rather you stay, but it will be on there. Dan's going to really, make a good edit of it, so cut out the swearing for the children. Look at that. Right, now the reason I've taken that on the 45, that haircut's finished now, guys. Okay, so look, watch. See how it hangs? See how it drifts? See how it belongs? it just kind of gives you that. I'm going to pull her up now so you can see her. There we go. Okay, so she's now a really sexy inverted bob. She's got a little bit of length more here this side. This side I'm trying to load the fringe a little bit, so I need to just kind of chop in a few little flows. But I would usually do all of that and refine it once it's dry. So I'm just going to scrunch that up now. Just going to scrunch her up. The products that I want to use are my Schwarzkopf products. So here, if I wanted to scrunch, I would go for my salt spray, which dehydrates the hair a little bit more and just gives it that little density and pulls the keratin together. So the sulfate ones just kind of absorb up for that kind of beachy, really sexy kind of bob look. Now, what I want to use is the session label. Again, go-to mousse, absolutely brilliant mousse. Someone screenshot that for me. Thank you. That I can get in a nice direction, just spray it into where I want, just get it into areas that I want. It's really directional mousse and just work it in. I don't like working this product through the mid-lengths and ends, okay? It's not a mid-lengths and ends product, it's more root control volumizer. It will travel through your ends as you blow dry, okay? Now, apart from that, Miracle 15, great product. Miracle 15, someone screenshot that for me. Good. Now, that one, boom. Love that action on that product. If not, I'll go in with my crystal gel, something like that, crystal gel for blow drying. We have got some new ranges coming out through OSIS as well. And today I have had the best news ever. I'm going to blow dry this while we're offline, if that's okay, guys. Or in fact, I'll tell you what, guys. I'll tell you what I'm going to do because I don't want to run out of time. I'm going to blow dry this and film it, okay, and then style it. So I'm going to blow dry it, chop it around, and style it in 3 different ways for you. I'm going to film that process, edit it down to a video, and then I'm going to pop it straight on my YouTube channel, or I'm going to put it on my Instagram later. Could you do that for me, Justin? Is that all right?
Yeah, that's no problem at all.
Yeah?
And a quick question, Joshua asks, are we going to texturize the cut once we're finished?
Yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop in a little bit of light texture around the bottom, just point cutting in. I'm going to film that for you and then show you. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to change my mind. Whilst Justin is teaching you social media, in a minute, I mean, some of the stuff he found out I didn't know. I've been doing social media for like the last 4 years. I didn't know that. So stay in tune. We're going to have a 15-minute. What time is it now, Daniel?
22 minutes past.
Okay, so we're going to come back here at 25 minutes to. Can you get Billy to extend the session, please?
Yes, I will do.
Yeah, thank you. In let's say 20 minutes time, we're going to come back here. I'm going to blow dry. Justin's going to take you through the social media do's and don'ts and hacks and everything else that he's created for you. And then I'll show you the finish of the haircut.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the second part of your live webinar today. My name is Justin and I'm going to be talking all things digital with you today. As an apprentice stylist myself, I love using my social media channels as a platform to really inspire and engage with other apprentices and graduate stylists and to motivate them to chase their dreams. My career has gone from strength to strength from teaching myself how to use social media effectively. So today is really about me sharing my insights, and I'd love to hear your insights as well. I want to build a community where we can all grow together. Now, this is my first webinar, so please be gentle with me. I'd love your support. If you could take a photo of your laptop screen or a screenshot on your phone, post it on your story and tag myself and Daniel, we would love to hear from you. Let's get started. The rundown for today. I'm going to introduce myself, who I am and why I'm here. Why is social media important to our industry? I'm going to show you how to make your page more attractive, how to gain clientele from social media. We're going to look at personal profiles versus brand profiles. I'm going to share my useful apps that I use on my page to make everything look amazing. I'm going to be sharing my tips and tricks with you all. I'm going to show you how to use hashtags effectively. So my name's Justin Mackland. I'm a level 3 apprentice stylist from Ashoka Hair and Beauty in Aberdeen, Scotland. I'm also a digital ambassador with the Schwarzkopf Professionals SKP Collective team. The SKP Collective team is a team of 10 UK Schwarzkopf hairdressers, and we share our love for the brand by making exciting and fun content for the brand. My goal for today is to help apprentices feel confident and excited about using our social media and ensure that you're using it to its best advantage. But as I said before, I am self-taught. I learned so much putting this presentation together for you today, including how to make a PowerPoint. I don't think I've done one since I was about 11 years old. So yeah, any tips and tricks you've got, please pop them in the chat. I'd love to hear, and let's grow together. Oh, massive love to the main man, Dan, before I move on, for letting me have this opportunity to speak to you guys today. I really, really appreciate it. So, why is social media important to our industry? First of all, it generates business. You can reach new potential clients. It helps you engage with your clients. I like to use my social media as like an extra customer service. You can showcase your work. Stay up to date with trends in the hairdressing industry. Trends are forever changing, so it's amazing to just go and see what is going on. And it also helps create new opportunities. For example, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the power of social media. So how to make your business more attractive? As you've probably seen already, there's so many hairdressing profiles out there. So I'm here really today to just try and help you stand out from the crowd. So you can see I have some examples of my page here. Always remember, your social media page will be your lookbook. It is your CV to really show people what you're made of. Be proud of it. So at the moment, I have an iPhone 10, which the camera is amazing on there. So it's all about really thinking your pictures need to be spot on. So just ensure that you have the most up-to-date camera. Once you're more confident putting pictures on social media or even taking pictures, you would probably look to upgrading your phone to maybe a digital camera so that you're getting the best quality pictures. Bio. So you can see on the left hand side here, here's my bio on my page. Always include your salon name, website, any relevant hashtags. So for example, I've got here my role in the salon, which is level 3 apprentice stylist. Like Ashoka Hair and Beauty, salon I work in. So basically, my followers can click on that link there and it'll take them directly to the salon's page. I've tagged Schwarzkopf here because I'm a digital ambassador for them. And I've also popped in the hashtag here, SKP Collective. If you click on that hashtag, it will direct them to any content generated by the SKP Collective team. Down below, I used to have the Ashoka Hair and Beauty website here so that people can see the services that we offer. So that's maybe something you could look at. But for the moment, I recently wrote a blog post for how to cut it, which was amazing, all about becoming a digital ambassador for the industry. So I've got that there just so people can learn a little bit more about me and what I do. Also, I've got the address of the salon there just so people know where to locate you. This is a great tip, actually. Organising photo shoots to showcase your best work. You can see here, these girls here on examples. But all like mini photo shoots I did. And I think a lot of people, especially apprentices, when they hear the word photo shoot, they instantly think, oh, I've got no money to do a photo shoot. I can tell you right now, every shoot that I've done for my page has cost me absolutely nothing, because so many people are willing to help out and collab. So like makeup artists, maybe it's a photographer wanting to do portfolio work. With me 2 seconds. Sorry, just adding something to the chat. So you can see down here on the bottom, I have got products that I use in the salon. Because I'm a Schwarzkopf digital ambassador, I only promote Schwarzkopf products on my page. Share your achievements. Most people love seeing people doing well. So you can see here, I've got, when I was a Shabba finalist last year, the amount of engagement and reaction that I got was incredible, just from likes or comments of good luck. Make fun, entertaining video content to show off your personality. So everyone is obsessed with the Tiger King just now that's on Netflix. So when we first went into lockdown, I thought I would put together, you can just see on the left-hand side here, a little video. I found a mullet wig in my house. I thought I'd do some styling tips with it, with some Schwarzkopf products. User-generated content. So not a lot of people know what this is, so I'm just going to go into some more detail. See here on the right-hand side my lovely model that I had in for a video shoot. So user-generated content is content made or shared by the guest. So when you've got people in the salon, a good thing to do is just to really ask them to take selfies. I mean, most women, as soon as they see the ring light, they want the ring light experience. They're like, what do I have to do to get behind that ring light? So I just say, have fun with it, you know, and usually you'll find your clients will be taking selfies anyway. You can see here when I did a video shoot with Amy, she uploaded this on her page and she just had a simple caption, best day with the best people, which is amazing. That instantly draws people in. We got 467 likes on that post, which absolutely blew my mind. So yeah, ask your guests to review their time with you. That might be on Facebook on your business page. There's a review option there, or they might send you a lovely message as a review, which you can screenshot and post on your stories. So this is a good one as well. Choose your models wisely when you're doing your little photo shoots and stuff. I'm quite fortunate in Aberdeen that I know a lot of the girls that have a presence on social media, but the more reaction they're going to get on their page is the more engagement that you're going to get on your page. Respond to every comment. I think with this picture of Amy here, she had 50, 60 comments, and I just made sure that I replied to all of them. And most of the girls followed me back, which was amazing. User-generated content is the best way to make sure people know how great you are and will click on your page to follow. So yeah, just rounding up what I've just said. And when you're posting your own content on your page, be sure to tag your salon, your guest, the brand that you work with, or even a magazine. So for example, because I'm an apprentice stylist, Concept Hair magazine is directed at apprentices. So I tend to tag them in my posts, and sometimes they share it as well, which again brings your posts to a wider audience. Clientele from social. So these are just some examples again from my page. First one on the left-hand side here is when I've used stories. So use stories feature to advertise availability in advance or last-minute cancellations. When we were back in the salon, I would normally go in on a Tuesday, look at my columns, see which appointments I can advertise, and get that up on stories just to really create a buzz for your clients. A good tip to do is for my Facebook. I have a Facebook business account as well, and I like to join hair and beauty pages from all over Aberdeen. So I think there's 3, which is great. Women are just screaming for appointments. So I always just advertise on there. And always use your best photos. This girl here with the blonde hair and the pin curls, she got me so many clients in at the salon that you wouldn't even believe. So yeah, just always make sure you use your best photos, because potential clients want to have hair like your model. Now we're going to look at personal profiles versus brand profiles. So with a personal profile, any insights to your page. Insights is a feature on Instagram that shows you the average age of the person, the people that are visiting your page, the location, when's best to post, things like that. But I'll go into that in a little bit later. You don't get an option to boost your posts. So I've never actually done this before, but I thought I'd pop this in here just so that you know that you would have the option to do it. Boosting posts is when you pay for sponsors. There's no call button on your page, which is unfortunate because people can't call your salon directly. The friends and family, which is fab. Clients can see everything about your life. This is a pet hate of mine because before I did my business page, I had a lot of clients wanting to come onto my personal page, which is private, but they don't want to see you going out every weekend with your mates getting drunk and things, or listening to you singing once you've had a few drinks. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. I don't think it's very professional. With a brand profile though, you get insights, so you can see when's best to post. You can boost your post, to receive a wider reach. So again, that's when people pay for their posts to be shared everywhere. Again, I've never done it, but you might want to do it. I've got a call button on my page, so people are directly linked to the salon phone. Also, this page will be more personal for your clients and guests, and also potential new clients. Useful apps for social. So I'm actually gonna share my phone while I'm talking through these. Every day I get asked, what app did you use for that? Like, that looks so amazing and things like that. And don't get me wrong, all of the apps that I'm going to go through today do come with a free version. Some of them I have paid for the pro version just because you really benefit from the features. Bear with me 2 seconds. Amazing. Right. So my first app is going to be Mojo. Where has my phone gone? Bear with me 2 seconds. I'm just going to show you on here. Can you all see my phone okay? Can you just pop in the chat? So Mojo is my ultimate favorite. Sorry, 2 seconds. Mojo is my ultimate favorite for creating stories. I'll just show you some of my previous stories that I've done there. So yeah, I pay £20 a year for Mojo, but it's absolutely worth it. I use it for everything. So the first one was Mojo. I like to use Prequel. I tend to use Prequel because when you have a brand profile, you can't add music to your stories. So Prequel allows you to do that, and then I upload it to my stories. StoryWave is great. It works in exactly the same way. It's got some nice filters and effects and stuff just to make your stories look attractive. For video editing, use InShot. InShot is amazing. It's really easy to use as well. More recently, I've been using Splice, which is fantastic. If you've got an iPhone, iMovie will already be built into your phone, and that's a nice starter. And if you do editing before. And I like to use video collage. Sometimes when I'm working at events and things, I'll get people to take videos of me working on the hair. And I think it's quite nice to display them all together to make an attractive story. My pictures and making adverts, I like to use Canva, Instasize. Tile pick is great because it'll take an image and split them up into different tiles for your Instagram grid. Repost, which is great for sharing content from other people. And layout for making collages on your grid. So these are just some of my tips and tricks. As I said, I'm self-taught, so I'd love to hear any of your tips and tricks that you have. My first one would be show the face behind the page. People like to know who they're going to be coming into to get their hair done. So it's nice for them to know what you look like, so they can kind of connect with you as well on a more personal level. They already know you. Interact with your followers via stories, with questions, polls. So if you're unsure about what content you should be using on your page, ask your followers, ask them on the stories what they want to see. Use the insights feature to check when your best time to post content is. So a great tip that my friend Chris from the SKP Collective team told me was when Love Island was airing, to post in between the breaks, because that's when people are sitting on their phones. Usually mines will be first thing in the morning when people wake up, because that's the first thing they do is check their phone, or last thing at night when people are winding down. As I said, the insights feature will tell you when your clients or followers post most. So not everyone likes this, but I like to use it. Instagram TV is it's basically a TV channel where you can reach a wider audience with the use of hashtags and things. And say, for example, someone watched one of my videos, after my video had ended, it would direct them to something with similar content. So for example, one of Daniel's videos. Create looks inspired by your hair idols and tag them when you post. They love seeing it and may even share to their followers. So yeah, this is a fab one. If I was to create like a textured, maybe afro look or something, Rick Roberts is massive on social and he loves seeing other people's recreations of his work. So if you were to tag that specific stylist, they might share it on their page to all their followers. And again, that's reaching a wider audience. Never stop learning about digital. It's evolving all the time. And it's so true. I can't believe over the years how much digital's changed. But it's just all about being really up there and just educating yourself. Run giveaways for your followers to boost engagement. So this one's great for attracting more followers, I would say. Ladies love free blow dries or free haircuts. But what I will say is, if you're employed by a salon, please always, always ask permission from your manager. Otherwise, I'm going to get a few angry phone calls. But yeah, it could be a free blow dry, it could be a free haircut. You can do them in different ways as well, whether it's like and comment, tagging other people and things. But if you've got any questions about that, please don't hesitate to drop me a message. Now, not everyone likes doing this one, and I certainly didn't like doing it when I first started working with Schwarzkopf. I was absolutely terrified, is Instagram takeovers with other brands. So my first Instagram takeover was at Salon International last year, and Schwarzkopf Professional have like over 40,000 followers or something like that, and I'd never done anything like it before, but I have to say it was the best thing to do ever. It's also about getting your name out there, and people will come up to you and engage with you. It's all networking, really. I've done takeovers for Beauty Booker recently when we started lockdown. That was amazing, speaking to all their followers. I did the Northeast Hair and Beauty Awards back in December. That was lovely, just really getting recognised locally. And people would come up to me and say, oh, I've seen you and things. So yeah, it's just a really extra special way to connect with people. So using hashtags effectively. So the definition of a hashtag is a word or phrase preceded by a hash sign used on social media, websites, applications to identify messages on a specific topic. The hashtag originated in 2007 on Twitter by Chris Messina, and I think when it first started, it was really generally seen as quite a nerdy thing to do, but then it quickly became popular with the social media community. So again, here is just some examples from my page. If you're unsure of what hashtags to use, I'm going to go through that for you just now. So for example, what does your picture show? So I've got a girl here with pink hair, just done a haircut on her. So I would use hashtags like, well, my next point, sorry, was what color is the hair in the picture? Obviously she's got pink hair. Now the difference between hashtagging pink and hashtagging pink hair, if I just hashtag pink, I get, you come up in a room with so many different images on Instagram, but if you type in hashtag pink hair, it narrows it down and shows you exactly what you're looking for. Hashtag areas local to you. So in the city that you're in, so for example, I always hashtag Aberdeen, really because a lot of local businesses will follow that hashtag, and we're all about supporting each other. So they'll tend to comment or like, which is amazing. If you've created work inspired by a celeb, hashtag their name. For example, anytime I've put anything up and hashtag like Kim Kardashian or any of the Kardashians, those fans go absolutely crazy. Create your own brand hashtag for your clients to use when they're uploading their selfies. That just means anyone who looks up, for example, me, Justin at Ashoka, that'll take them to a room full of work that I've done either on clients or whether it's photo shoots or anything I've done in the salon. If you work with a hair brand, so again, I work with Schwarzkopf, so does Daniel, so we are constantly tagging, hashtagging Schwarzkopf Pro UK, just so that we can all be in that same room together. I've just put together this useful hashtags for you guys. Take a picture of the screen for your notes if you'd like to use it to refer back to. We've got things like hashtag Insta hair, hashtag hair of Instagram, hashtag pick of the day, hashtag model. Hopefully they will help. I'll just leave that a couple of minutes, well, a couple of seconds, just so you can get your pictures in. And that is the end of my presentation, guys. Thank you so much for listening. As I said before, if you've got your own tips and tricks, please share them. I want to build a community where we can support each other and just really grow together. Also, if you'd like to follow me on Instagram, it's all one word, Justin at Ashoka. And for anyone who's interested to keeping up to date with my journey to becoming a hairstylist, every month I am working with Concept Hair Magazine, the only magazine for UK hairdressing and barbering students and apprentices. Thank you so much.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, brother. How was that? That was good.
Well, I hope it was good.
Really good, my friend. Do you know what? I was just listening to it as I was blow drying, and do you know what? I was like, there was these 3 bits. So I went, got that. Yeah, got that. And you always forget those hashtags, don't you?
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't put any hashtags in. It's like, well, you shouldn't have done that, should you?
You're just always too excited to post your stuff.
I know. And then he goes, oh, do you want me to edit it for you? I'm like, yes, please.
It's fine, Daniel. You've got 26,000 followers. So.
They all just saw your massive spelling mistakes. Don't worry, Dan. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
I'm just going to quickly look through these comments.
Yeah, have a look at the comments.
I'll make sure that I follow all you guys back as well.
Yeah, we're going to follow you all back because, again, we want to stay in that kind of community and see how far it can get. I mean, it's a bit of a social experiment, isn't it? It's a bit more, you know, like, what can we do in this time? You know, what can we do in this time? I'm trying to work in a mirror image here. Can you see my screen still?
Oh no, my sound was really bad.
Yeah, your sound did drift off, but I'm going to teach you how to do that because it's actually a piece of software that we need to now. Yeah, we need to.
Sorry
work.
about that, guys.
I thought my software would run equally through you all.
That's okay. We'll figure that all out later.
Yeah, that's a Dan Thomas genius. Okay, guys.
That's a me problem.
That's a Dan problem. So, is everybody back online as well? Is everyone in the room? Yeah, we're ready to go. So I'm just looking at my new haircut here, and obviously you can see the beauty that is within this haircut. Thank you so much, Justin. I will catch up with you in a minute, mate.
No problem. I'm just going to mute I'm going to turn off my video and mute myself.
Okay, so we're back on the look, guys. We're back in the room. We're back on the haircut. Learned so much from that. Do you know what? And these little small points, and they were free. How about that, guys? Free. Because in this time of need, it's about what you did now will play purpose on what the outcome of your life will be. So when you're raging to get back in the salon, now we've taught you 2 haircuts now. That's 2 haircuts. That's absolutely free as well. But we do have the more advanced courses coming up where I will teach more on a smaller scale, not with the hundreds that we have with you guys. Now, invest in me and I'll invest in you, and I promise that. There'll be longer seminars, longer days, but you'll be able to work with the doll's heads time on time with me as well. Now, for the first group that joined us, we have a really good discount for you. And for all you guys that now become part of my group, I'm going to also give you a massive discount on those as well, if you're interested. But we will go more and more into depth. We were like, this is the foundation level. This stuff, I don't even teach within like my essential skills. And the next one, this is levels of like, this is just what you need to know, guys, to get you going. And you actually only need to know 9 haircuts to create your first part of your career. And then it's everything you learn from there. So you'll learn the rules and then you'll break them. So I have 2 courses. I've got coaching cutting. It's a 4-day course, 4 days whilst in lockdown. The dates are to be arranged and organised between the small group that we have on board. Now, I'm only taking up to about, I think my limit is about 20 to 30 of you that we can get involved one-to-one. We can get the heads sent out to you as well. So we're working out, can watch your technique and we can play it back. I have a goal. By the end of this pandemic, it will be our last show, our last webinar, our last teaching lesson. But when that's announced, that last Monday, I want to get everybody doing exactly the same haircut at the same time. And we are going to record that, and we're going to switch through the camera views because it will be, it will be on the paid seminar. And we will make you the stars. And that's the whole goal of this. So we'll have me do a section, you do a section, next person do a section, next person do a section. And it should just make this really good cameo that you was part of during this pandemic, during this really adverse time. Anyway, here we go, guys. Just finishing up now. I want you to show you what that's done to the layer. I'm going to bring it really nice and close there. So you can see I've just blow dried it with a round brush. I've got volume in the nape and I've got volume at the crown. I've got volume all the way through. You can see as that shape really develops down, you can see what you need to do is be able to kind of visualize that layer. So if you can see that layer and how that looks under there. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on refining it because refining this is all about now texture. So it's about the texture of the haircut and how that kind of plays purpose in that. So I'm going to teach you how to texturize that layer. So what we're going to do is we're going to take exactly the same sections as we previously did. So we previously taken the sections from the back of the haircut all the way down here and then through there. So first of all, you imitate what you've done. So you bring out your section that way. Now I need to bring her lower. I can see that. Do I need to bring her lower, Daniel?
A little higher, mate. A little higher.
Is that okay? Like, see where I'm holding that up now? Is that
actually, yeah, that's fine.
Is that okay? So you can see the weight distribution. If you can take the sections yourself, you can actually see, even though that section is the same size, you can see the weight distributions very differently. So when you pick hair up, you will notice that, and that's where you need to cut. So I don't need to cut within that section at all. So, you can just get your scissor in there like that, and just kind of take that area out. Now you're just focusing on those 2 areas. So what we want to do is just then get nice and deep, get in with the hair shaft like that, and just cut some nice points off. Watch this, nice and deep into the point. This will give you more of a triangular texture. Now, that's one type of texture, and that's just going to give you that little flow and lift that layer a little bit more. Then take your next section exactly the same as you did before. So you're reworking the whole haircut, and then you just want to kind of point cut. But I really want this quite messy, so that's why I'm deep cutting, so you get that real in and out sort of effect, but you're not distributing the weight here. That's different. That's a different type of texture, and we'll keep doing that all the way through the haircut. Just elevate it up. And just kind of like feed in, but you need to be nice and straight. If you go in at an angle, you're going to go deeper. So it's kind of practicing these little areas of your texturizing techniques that really play purpose on how that client feels about their hair afterwards. Now, the shorter hairs will make the longer hairs move. That's the idea and the principle. So this is part of the haircut, which gives it the passion of movement, the texture, and the different styles. So nice and deep, yeah. And just don't go over the same areas twice. So that's why I kind of work with the sections that I've already got. I'm going to pull this hair up here. And you can see all the angles are beautiful. And this length really carries justice down here as well. So now we're just going to grab a bit of both of the sections. So just here. Now this is a different technique. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to switch my blade from that side to that side. And now I'm just going to go in like this. Yeah, so it's not going in that way. It goes in that way. Okay, so it goes in nice and straight. And that will only take off little pieces and movement. And you can really lighten up and visually check where you want those movements to be. And then you can see the hair really takes on a different kind of persona. It really does kind of like start moving itself around, becoming that lighter texture that we wanted. Again, I'm just going to come in a bit deeper. Now you can use so many different techniques here. So this is one that I've really kind of favored just for that kind of express kind of finish. I mean, that is absolutely stunning. Really like how the blonde hair is reflected out. You know, it's got a lovely bit of movement to it. You've got the layer through the side. Now, just to kind of get the length, I will pop this up for you so you can see that. And I'm going to get quite close for you, because if you want a choppy base, you can get a choppy base by elevating. So what you want to do is you elevate that out, let the underneath drop away, because you almost want always to have that structure for it to land on top of. And then what we're going to do here, you can either go in again with your deep texturizer, or you can go in with this method, which is just kind of point cutting, like holding the blade underneath and just going in with that. And that will drop in some movement, because you've graduated that as well. You've graduated it by lifting it out. It's going to fall very, very different. And I just keep doing that until the hair runs out. I have a little visual check. That's gorgeous. Don't want to do any more to that. That's like imperfect. Now, if that's perfectly imperfect, then you want to move on to your next side. And again, put your scissor in, closed, put your scissor in, pull that out, just like that. Elevate it out, so we're getting graduation within the texture. It's not going to fall like a flat line. So even when that falls down, any lines that you put into the haircut have changed. So now we're just going to put this. I call this the Murray technique. This is the Murray technique because I named it after the guy that taught me it, David Murray. He was a fantastic Irish hairdresser. I loved him to bits. Very honourable, very noble. You know, and really no ego. And he taught me it was okay to just be me, rather than trying and be someone else. And that's what I like about certain people that teach me. Some people you will not get on with, and some people you will see eye to eye with. It's, you know, it's just one of those things. Now here, just a couple of big bits of texture, just to drop that in. Really at this front section, I do want to lighten that out a bit more. I'm just going to go in there a little bit more, just get that little bit more featherness at the front there. We're going to repeat that again on the opposite side, just in here, just in there. Look, elevate that out, nice little piece in there. Come to the front section where we do want a bit more lightness, and just, you know, break that out a little bit more, get a little bit more freedom. That's looking absolutely stunning. I love that. I really like that. And it's a very simple technique to use, guys. It's one that you're going to use all the time. You know, I'm going to video my last seminar as well. I'm going to video that. I'm going to video that because I know the recording didn't come out correct. We'll also re-video Justin's presentation as well, in case the sound wasn't that great. What we'll do is we'll pre-record that again. We'll put that up on our YouTube. So there's a link in there. Copy that link now to the YouTube channel, because this is where you're going to be able to recap on all of these things and get to see them again. This is in its purest form. Obviously, I'm going to show you a few little bits and pieces as well on YouTube, which I don't show you here. You know, there may be a moment that I didn't quite catch where I really wanted to. Look at that. Using that Dyson hairdryer, just getting that off. Look at that. It just looks really, really lovely. I like to finish this off with a nice soft brush, just kind of push the layers in. Now, it's all about presentation. When you bring your client, you know, to the back mirror, remember that. What are they going to see? What's their expectations? Think about the whole client journey. Just think about the whole thing. Yeah. Think about how do they feel? What are they thinking? You know, what are their apprehensions? Because to read a client and not get the satisfaction of, I'm not sure if she likes her hair or not, it's one of the worst feelings ever. You know, that feeling for me is just not something. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to keep that nice and smooth. Now, I have blow dried that just with the round brush. I'm working back to front here, guys. So I'm like trying to find like where my hand goes in and looking at the screen as well. You ever done that in the mirror? You poke them in the eye? No? Just me. I knocked a client out once. Yeah, not on purpose, obviously. Not on purpose. Let's have a look at those little pieces there. I'm just going to check that through. It's nice. Just check that. That's lovely. Really nice. You see it's got that lovely hugger length at the front here. She really enjoys that little bit of hugger length. Now this code looks absolutely amazing as well. So I'm just going to show you a couple of techniques here. Now we've got the strong hairspray here. This one's really quite nice, just for drying out a little bit quicker. But also what we've got here is a little bit of a soft texture spray. And this really just lays in the hair. It stops the humidity grabbing it straight away. We're just going to brush that through as we brush the hair. You can spray it on the brush if you wanted to, so you just get a little bit on there, and that will just get through everything. So spray, brush, spray, brush, spray. Smells gorgeous. I can really smell that. Really nice fresh smell. If any product smells, I put it straight away. I'm never going to put a product that smells in my client's head that I wouldn't love ever, because we're attracted to smells. You know, our memories are smells. You know, smelling your grandma's cookies when they're baking in the oven, that time. The smell can bring back emotions. Sound can bring back emotions. Visuals, you may see something, that's another emotion. How does that look, guys? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if you love that. I can't see your thumbs up. It's all the way over there. Daniel, are we getting any thumbs up?
We are indeed.
Yeah, there we go. I mean, this side, I don't like this side. I don't like it. There's something about that side I do not like. Let's find out what it is. And I would work on a haircut again and again and again until I'm perfect. I won't let it go out half measured. No way. If a haircut is half measured, I'm not involved. You know, I'm not happy with it. Get a little bit of bend in this section here, shall we? So I'm just going to pull that round my head, right? Quite hard because it's up in the air. Use a cold shot. You give it a little spin at the end. That's better. You see, it's just kind of holding off the face shape a little bit more. Now, I want to show you a little trick for photographic work. Okay, so when we do this, you'll see it. So sometimes it's nice to preset the hair. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just separate the hair down the middle. And this is a nice one. It's really nice for the clients. Okay, so it's almost like you kind of zigzagging. So you pull a section over, smooth it in, you know, and paying attention to attention, spray that in. Yeah. And then we get another section from here. And we just kind of like, you know, just kind of mix it over. And then we get another section over here. And then we just kind of like put that in place as well. And then we get another section over here. And you just kind of like place those layers so they look really cute on the image. You know, it's all about, you know, what are their expectations of the back? One, they're going, has he cut all the hair off? Two, how precise is it? You know, precision haircuts, you know, they become quite natural to do after a while, because it's like when we talked about the driving test earlier. You know, it's kind of like, you know, that's gorgeous, guys. It's gorgeous, I love it. I'm really addicted to hair. Make it your addiction, make it your craft, be passionate about it. You know, and that, you know, it's just a lovely, nice display of layering. You know, it kind of like, they kind of look at that. It's a bit rubbish over that side, sorry guys. But you can kind of pull this in. You get the gist, really. I play around with that. Then show them the back. And then and then get them to give it a nice little shake, and then they can see the natural flow of layers. What you don't want to be doing is roughing stuff up with your hands, you know, like, hi guys, hi guys, hi guys, hi guys. You know, you just want to kind of, you know, just have a little play with it, run your hands through it. The hands are the biggest tool you'll ever have. Now, there's how to cut a lob, how to cut a bob. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Obviously, I'm going to play around with the style. I'm just going to tinker around and have a nice time with that. Well, I think I've done a good job. In fact, I know I've done a good job. It's very nice. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. Now, I'm going to start signing you off. I'd like to say special thanks to Daniel Thomas, Glue Enterprise as well, all digital marketing and enterprise stuff. Now, I'd like to say thank you so much to the SKP Collective team and Schwarzkopf for letting this happen and making this happen. And a big, massive, famous thank you to Justin. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're amazing, guys.
Thank
right.
you. I had the best time.
We'll chat afterwards, after the show. Now, guys, give me this, okay? So, I want you to draw a big red circle. Say nothing about it, yeah? Just tag the circle. Hashtag the circle. Anything with a hashtag the circle will start we're seeing a lot more. No one uses that hashtag because it's mine, because it's ours, because it's yours. It's yours now. Anything that you've perfected, when you became a perfectionist in your own rights, you use that circle and put it on your work. I want to see it more often, and that connects us together and we'll belong to this. If anything you need, anything you want, you can come to us and we'll help you. And there's no ulterior motive. It's kept to grow this and then one day be the educational brand for you throughout your career. We've got some great artists coming on board, and that I only choose the artists that have heart and passion and no ulterior. Say it for me, Justin. What am I trying to say? Ulterior motive.
Alternatively.
That's the one. So guys, give me a nice big screenshot now. I'm going to see you next Monday. Get this out there for me. If you enjoyed it, get it out there. I love you all. Thank you so much. Give me a peace. I love you guys. Peace out.